massive, massive.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back for the West Ham review. I hope you're all keeping well, and we're looking forward to this one because it's got a bit of a special one on the old Green Street Elites. Hope Budgie's all right as well. So, how is the extraordinary, unethical, unthinkable Budgie?
You're thinking of so many uns for me. Unextraordinary. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, mate. For some reason, I had the YouTube link open as well, so I was getting you in stereo. Madness. But yes, I'm very well. Back on a Thursday. Really enjoy this show, mate. And we do get a good crowd in the chat as well. So hopefully tonight will be no exception.
No, exactly. I mean, let's start off with what we've got there so far. It's starting with Michael Chelsea. Good evening to yourself. Big up Tottenham Budgie. Hope you guys are well. Yeah, we're not doing too bad, mate. I hope you are as well. And yeah, I think you want to forget about that last weekend, didn't you? That wasn't exactly the greatest game we saw. Good evening, Michael. Big up, guys. Awake tonight? Yeah, I know that feeling very well.
He may be awake, but he's not with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Budgie can vouch for that one.
Here we go.
As he says, yeah, as well. Yeah, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and comment. And don't forget, obviously, Green Street Elites. Make sure you also give the love there as well, please.
I was going to set up to stream this to my channel, but I've just noticed, please don't tell anyone, I'm still signed into West Ham Network. So I couldn't. I'll have to sign out of that later, but yeah. Oh, God, I'm still signed in.
And big up to Anthony Herbert as well. Big up Tony and Budgie. Who's a pretty boy then? Jeez, I'm looking away.
Good evening, Anthony. Thanks for joining, buddy. Nice to see you again, buddy.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the weekend's game. I mean, what did you make of that yourself, mate?
I was disappointed. I mean, I thought that we had, I think we had the game in the palm of our hands after the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we just handed it back to them. I mean, I could not believe the kind of relaxed approach towards them having the ball. And it was a complete turnaround from what we saw against Everton and Newcastle. You know what I mean? Not Newcastle. Sorry, yeah, Newcastle. It was just a
Mm.
complete turnaround. Not, I didn't mean Everton. I meant Leicester.
Yes,
All
yeah,
in blue
yeah, yeah.
again. It was a complete turnaround. I mean, I think at Leicester and Newcastle, we showed a bit of intent and a bit of desire. Against Everton at the weekend, I think it was pretty much a foregone conclusion from the moment the whistle went. You know, it was going to be honours even and shaking everywhere around the ground afterwards. And it was fucking disappointing, really, to be honest with you, Tone.
I
You
mean,
know,
to hold on to the lead for, what was that, about the 94th minute? 12,
93rd minute they scored, yeah.
and I know there's been some criticism aimed at Mavropanos because I think if you look at it, he allowed, I can't remember the fella's name who scored the goal. He allowed
Yeah,
him in front of him to get the
yeah,
equaliser. All right, yeah, Everton had a couple of chances when the game went throughout the game, but still, we need to be a bit more stronger especially kind of to hold on to a lead as well. We don't seem to be able to do that lately.
yeah, yeah. And it is a worry that when Graham Potter first signed for us when he first came, people were saying to us, "Yeah, it's all very well. He can play good football, but you're going to struggle to score goals."
Mm.
And they've been proven right, Tone, haven't they? Really, to be fair.
They have, mate. Yeah, I mean, we know we're weak on the area and that. I mean, obviously, just
Yeah,
going to
I
say
mean,
hello
look,
to
we've
Word
got
and Pictures. Good evening
Jared
to yourself.
Bowen. Oh, good evening, WP. Nice to see you, mate. We got Jared Bowen. We got Kudus. We got I knew you said Lanzini then. Paqueta. We've got a handful of players. Thomas Socek that can all find the back of the net, and yet none of them are. And it's a
No,
bit of a worry because the goal scorers aren't getting the goals that they would normally get. They're not getting into the positions they would normally get into. I mean, look, Thomas Socek's goal at the weekend was a peach.
yeah,
Absolute peach. I thought it was worthy of a goal of the month, for West Ham, definitely worthy of that. It was a really good turn, really good finish. And yes, as Happy Amulet said a couple of weeks ago, it will be, kind of fate if Socek was to score the winning goal against Everton. Okay, it could have been the winning goal had that not happened in the 93rd minute. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, I thought we did enough to cover them for 90 odd minutes, 90 minutes,
mm,
right? But you know, you just can't afford to slacken off, not even in the last minute.
not at all, not at all. And I'm just going to catch up the chat and we'll carry on with this conversation because it's
Yeah,
quite an interesting one, really. Mark was saying, obviously, the cracks are beginning to show in Jellyfish Potter. It was always coming. He's obviously got it in for Potter. Um, it is a different setup anyway when you consider it.
yeah,
When you look at something like that, Chelsea compared to what he's come to West Ham. But yes, Michael, we know you. Jellyfish is always with yourself. Michael's saying we went 1 up, then defended for 25 minutes, and in the end, we had no outlet up front to relieve the pressure. And yeah, it is a big problem for us. It is a
yeah.
big problem, that's for sure.
It
Um,
is.
Good
When
evening,
Jared
Phil.
Bowen's coming back,
I mean, see that one as well. I mean, all right,
even Phil.
at least the boys called up for England. That's great. That's what we want to see. One of our own kind of getting into that
Yeah,
position. But at the same point, it's and this is, I suppose, and Michael Chelsea's kind of right in certain respects. This is where I kind of think Potter sometimes let himself down. I think we spoke about this last week. Is it seems he takes that one step forward and gets things right, and then the next couple of games, kind of thing, we take us 2 steps back. It's
yeah,
it's like he changes the dynamics when he don't need to change the dynamics.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
to be fair, at the beginning of the game against Everton the other day, he should have
Evening,
pulled
right?
Evening Ray. He should have pulled Jared Bowen to one side and said to him, "Look, Jared, I'm really, really happy for you to get your England call up and this, that, and the other. But this is where your bread's buttered,
Mm,
right? This is where you have to perform. Because without performing here, you're not going on the world stage. Simple as that, you know? And, look. I'm not saying that Jared Bowen didn't put in any effort or didn't have a decent game, because I felt that he had as good a game as anyone else did for West Ham. But it just wasn't Jared Bowen per se. It
Yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't that dynamic right winger that we all know and love. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. It,
Um,
it is a bit of a, like I said, it's a bit weird that the last couple of games we've got coming for the season finishes how it kind of goes. Yeah, it's where it's
yeah,
going. Um, Big up to also to Views on Sport as well. Evening, gents, he's saying there. And
usual
guys, yeah,
sport.
had the chance to please go over to see Views on Sport. He does some good stuff as well, and he does a daily show around about lunchtime ish. Talks about Arsenal. Obviously, he's an Arsenal man, but talks some sense as well. And obviously, don't forget Michael Chelsea as well. Go and see his channel and give him a share, like, and subscribe as well. Michael was also saying Tuchel needs to play Henderson and Walker now, or why take them when he could have taken some youngsters to learn the setup? Yeah, I mean, see that in its sense. I mean, all right, he's got him. You know, he's a New England manager, and he's got him bold. You know, Henderson and
Yeah.
Walker, two players that are kind of not exactly up to scratch, really. When you need something a bit more. I mean, like not kind of saying it because he's our player, but Wampazaka, and I think you said this on Sunday, he should be given this call up.
He should
You
have
know,
been, mate. You know, and the
you know,
thing is, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, like he was always kind of like the nearly man while he was at Man United, and you know, I always saw potential in him and so on and so forth, and I always wondered why he didn't get a call up while he was at United. You
mm,
know, I mean, I thought he was good enough back then, um, but you know, now that he's playing for us and we get to see really what he's all about, it's even worse. That feeling of him not getting a call up is even worse. I mean, imagine if he'd have been called up 3, 4 years ago, he would still be in the England setup because he's that good.
yeah.
And then we wouldn't have got him though, to be fair, Tone.
Possibly,
You know?
possibly, mate. Every now and then, when you move, there is an interference. I mean, obviously, Pepsi's saying it's causing interference. Every now and then, it does it. I think when you move a certain way, I don't know if it's the lead or the microphone, but other than
Who,
that,
me?
yeah, it's good now. No problems at all.
All right,
Every now and
okay.
then. Good evening, Brendan. Evening, Tony Budgie chatters. Is this an England chat? No, that's it. You've heard it. You
You've
don't
heard
need to
it,
carry
that's
on.
it. And
Done.
and that was right behind the microphone, so I've moved it.
Ah, is that what it was? Was it? Ah, okay.
Well, I'm assuming so.
So no, Brendan. We just talked about our boy getting in there and why we didn't get your Wembanyama, but
Yeah.
that's it, mate. That's it. Hit the likes, peeps. Thank you very much for these.
Thank you, folks.
Usual saying, can anyone see my text? We can see it now.
Yes. Yeah, we can see it, mate.
Good evening to you, mate. Yeah, usual. Yeah, I see. We all see you.
Yeah.
Tuchel not interested in trying players. He said he's not worried about the future. It's all about now. Interesting. Yeah, so everyone says we can see you. Yeah, we can see you usual. Yeah, we can see you as well. So it's all good. It's all good.
And thank you for joining again, usual. Nice to see you again.
100%.
I've got a
Whereas,
question for you, Tone, actually. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, no, go on, carry on.
hold that question. I wasn't just saying it'll be Budgie's amazing magnetism interfering when he moves.
Ah, yeah, right,
That's
mate.
brilliant.
I've got a question for you, Tony.
Yes, mate.
Okay. So, young Ollie Scholes, doing very well for the club. And, you know, um, he's had England call ups in the junior ranks. Do you think he's ready for an England call up right now? I'm asking because people are saying he should have got one. I don't agree. I don't think he's quite ready. But what's your thoughts, Tone?
Um, he's coming into the West Ham squad, and when you look at it, you could see that he's got maturity about him, which
Yeah.
you like to see that for a youngster as well.
Mhm.
And you can see that obviously he settled in, especially when he got his debut, he settled in really well. And and you've seen the performances he's been given is been great. But for an England setup at the moment, nah.
No. I mean, like my argument was if he's ready for a call up, then why hasn't Aaron Wan-Bissaka been called up? Because he's older, he's more experienced, and dare I say it, a better player at this moment. So that was my argument to it. If you're going to call up a young lad like that, first of all, you got to consider the ones that aren't getting called up that do deserve it.
Yeah, I think for Skulls, for me, I'd rather see him gain more experience.
I'd like to see a couple more years of development in him, and
Definitely,
then
mate.
maybe perhaps step in to the England setup, with a view to being, a future starter, but not straight away. You can't
No,
expect
you
a young
wouldn't.
lad like
You
that.
wouldn't become a first team starter with us first of all.
No,
That's what you need. Pepsi is John Cena in the house. Yeah, he's John Cena. Anthony was in earlier on. Pepsi Arsenal don't matter. Good evening, Colin. Good evening, Tony and Budge. You wonderful gentlemen. Great to join you as always. Enjoyable to be in your company. And
thank you,
we
sir.
all, as always, Colin and everyone in the chat, it's great to have you with us and listening to the comments as well. Or seeing the comments, and we can read them out for you. This is what we like about doing this. Yeah, Michael Anthony was in the chat earlier. Was indeed. Brenda's asking, Colin, can you walk today?
Yeah. How long was he in that shower for? That's what we want to know.
Good evening, JB. Hope you're keeping well on there. And obviously, Obsidian Curse, good evening and evening to yourself as well. Evening all.
Obsidian, good evening, sir.
Colin saying, good evening, all the ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Always a pleasure being in the company. Usuals, big up as well. Togs. You need to be over the year or forever injured to get called up by Tuchel, i.e. Reece James. Seems to be the way, doesn't it? And they're all saying like each other, which is great. Big up all you guys in the chat. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. No, I mean, I want to see Skulls. If we're going to, depends what's going to happen with Cresswell, what's going to happen with Emerson. You want youngsters to kind of become the benchmark for the next season.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we want to see progression from junior ranks to first team, etc., etc. We want to see that. We kind of demand it, if you like, to a certain level. But the international scene's a very different scene, and I just don't think that certain players are ready for that international scene. Ollie being one of them. I don't think he's quite ready. Although I will cheer him when it happens, because it will happen.
No, exactly. I mean, going back to what we were saying earlier about like the Everton game. I mean, it is a worry that we're struggling on the strike the striker front, and I suppose like even Kels, Potter's got to deal with what he's got in front of him, which at this moment is not much.
Yeah.
But we're seeing. I'll say we're seeing we're seeing something happening. But as I said, we also see the negative effects of that because his setup sometimes is weird. I mean, funny on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly last night we was talking about it, and it was like this playing five at the back. You can't do it in every single game. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And not only that, we'll have a similar scenario to what we had when we were playing under David Moyes, where all the teams that we're going to play against will know exactly where we're going to be at, what we're going to be up to. They'll play against it. Their tactics will counteract everything we're doing, and we'll end up with 5, 6, and 7s again against us.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case, but yeah, absolutely. JB saying, don't know the Chelsea lad in the chat, but hello, fella. He's a nice lad, JB. Yeah, Michael's really nice guy. So yeah,
very respectful, very, very nice young man.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil was saying these shows help with the last night's shift of the week, makes the shift slightly less painful. It's nice to hear, Phil. We aim to please, mate. And it's a case of interacting with used people as well. And if it makes your shift better, especially if it's the last one as well, and that makes it even more better. Hopefully, you got the
Yeah.
weekend to yourself, mate. If that's the case, I remember doing them
Yeah.
shift work. Jeez, yeah. Skulls. Has he come out of retirement to play for West Ham? Yeah, you know us, Michael. We take all the old rejects, all the old oldies but goldies. Yes, I've seen this as well, Michael. And I don't know if you've seen the same, B Budge. I mean, I know James E20 bigs him up quite often. Walker Peters from Southampton.
Yeah. Listen, from what I've seen of him, he's a decent enough player. Unfortunate that he happened to be, with a cannon fodder team, which is a shame because he is a better player than that club would have, given him credit for with,
Yeah,
the way things have gone. I'm not blaming the club, of course, um, yeah, I think Walker Peters is the sort of player that would thrive under the right conditions. I mean, I could see him being an absolute monster if he went to Newcastle under Eddie Howe.
hmm
Um, I could see him being a monster under Pep Guardiola. Well, Pep Guardiola from the last couple of years or so, anyway.
yeah.
I don't quite know what Potter would do with Walker Peters. Hopefully, he wouldn't change a lot because his game is what it is, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know quite if Potter would handle him correctly because he's not really what I would call a Potter style player.
Mm.
He's a little too independent for a Potter style player, in my
The other
opinion.
thing that worries me a little bit is obviously if that's the case, in it, what we're going to do is he going to be there? Is he going to be cover for Wan-Bissaka? Is he going to be starting? Is Wan-Bissaka going to be moved up, or is he going to move to cross?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I wouldn't object to him moving Wan-Bissaka forward a bit. I really wouldn't. But
Yeah, we've
then,
we've seen that.
but
Yeah,
then, to do that, we've got Jared Bowen that can go there. We've got Caduce that goes there. We've got a handful of other players that could play that position. Um, so yeah, no, that would be a bit of a worry. But I mean, look, Walker Peters maybe as cover, yeah, but I can't. I wouldn't be able to if it was me. I wouldn't be able to sign off on him replacing Wan-Bissaka or moving him down the slot. No, I
yeah.
think Wan-Bissaka's too good for that.
No, what we've seen of him so far and what we paid for him. Yeah, I totally agree on that one.
Mm.
The Obsidian saying new manager, same old players, typical England. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's. The same old shite, basically.
Yeah.
Michael Bleed say Michael Chelsea likes a bit of banter also as well. Yeah, he definitely does that.
Yeah.
Don't forget we weren't.
Although it was nice to see Dan Burn getting a call up.
Mm, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
I felt that was kind of justified. You know,
Mm.
he's had a great season.
He has
Great
indeed,
season.
as and as we said, we was all the Newcastle fans and helped my mum on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Pepsi saying Potter will sign Andy Peters and we'll get Ed the Duck on a free. Yeah, Brendan saying, yeah, we'll take that Pepsi. Yeah, if it means he can
Mm.
score a goal for us, who cares as long as it does it. Colin saying, Brendan, I'm a bit tired, but I'm ready for tonight, mate. She's cut up with me. Been in Cambridge today. Nice. Took my friend out who suffers with dementia in a wheelchair. Had a good time today. Brilliant. I mean, the weather was nice as well, Colin, wasn't it? I mean, it's been a very nice warm day. I think you got to about 20, I think, at one point. So that's quite nice.
Mm. Well,
At the moment,
it's
though,
nice
it's
that you're sitting there all cuddled up and coshled up. That's really nice. Yeah,
but
yeah,
listening to us two farts, so
yeah.
it can't be
Mm.
bad.
How does she feel about the football, Colin? Let us know about that.
Mm, yeah, it does makes sense. Yeah, is Downs injured at Southampton because he can't even get in the first team?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is injured.
Let's do a
And
quick.
that's a weird thing because Downs was playing brilliantly for him.
Mm.
at the beginning of the season.
Before we answer that, I mean, obviously, just one thing I want to say, we've forgot to mention at the beginning of the show. Rest in peace to old Eddie Jordan,
Oh yeah,
76.
he's a hero of mine now, Tone.
Mm,
And like I
yeah,
said on my Facebook post, he was an independent team owner without compromise.
yes, yeah,
You know, he always tried to get the best he could with the money available.
true.
You know,
Just seeing there, the family statement said on Thursday, it was profound sadness that we announced the passing of Eddie Jordan, OBE, the ex-Formula One team owner, TV pundit and entrepreneur. He passed away peacefully with his family by his side in Cape Town in the early hours of 20 March 2025. So that's nice. At least it was peaceful.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Sad, but yeah. Thankful that it wasn't a painful death.
Let's have a quick look. Is Flynn Downs? It just come up, or when I just typed this up there, is Flynn Downs related to Wally Downs?
Oh, that's great.
That's brilliant.
Oh dear. What are you looking at then? Whether
I'm
it
just sort of
is?
see January the 25th is this scene now, 2 to 4 weeks duration he's out for. So he should be all right, really. We're looking at this. Don't think there's anything else. So it seems like he's okay by the looks of it. So it could be just this manager.
Could be.
Good man, Colin. Cambridge in the sunshine is a great place to be. Yeah, it's a very nice day today. I mean, it's clear as anything at the moment, so it's going to be freezing at night. Obsidian saying if you have attacking wing backs, 5 at the back can be exciting and produce goals. I don't think it's a system that's inherently wrong. We just haven't fully utilised it yet. And I make you right now. I mean, like, I suppose you got to think when he first came in, the problem we had that where we with Moyes, we had that counteracting type of football.
Yeah.
Lopetegui came in and that, and well, no one had a clue what he was doing. And of course, then Potter comes in, and he goes with this 5 back. And I make Obsidian right here. If you, as long as you utilise it correctly, you can push on and defend at the same time by moving the field across. But if you haven't got people singing on the same hymn sheet, as they say, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we're catching ourselves out, especially, well, we know full well our midfield is not exactly the strongest, and that's where I think a lot of it is a lot of the games players lost, and I think other teams have worked that out. And the fact that we can't hold the ball up, I mean, the biggest culprit for that, unfortunately, in my eyes, is Kudos.
He tries too hard, doesn't he?
But I don't know if you noticed as well, though, Budgie. I mean, I've seen the last couple of games, and you mentioned it earlier with Bowen. There's times when he's holding the ball a bit too long. The last couple of games, he's held the ball too long when he should be doing the pass, and he loses out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Oregon Goon's in the house, and he's put up a real dodgy comment.
I know what he's going to come out with. Good evening, Michael. Yeah, Walker Peters can play both sides. Also, we're saying there. And good evening to Howard. Good evening, all you beautiful people.
Evening,
Come on,
Howard.
you Irons. Hope you're Howard. And I hope you've enjoyed time with your daughter as well, mate. And they'll sound like each other. Good to see you, absolutely. Michael Cho saying, yeah, absolutely, Budgie. Very sad news, mate. Another legend gone in the sport, absolutely. Words and Pictures says, one moment of joy was when Souček turned it to Pirlo for his Everton goal. He scored another quality goal last season away at Everton. Yeah, he seems to enjoy playing against it.
Yeah.
Brendan's saying, yeah, Eddie Jordan, what a character. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He was. Yeah. Yes, Howard, unfortunately, yeah, early hours of today, he passed, unfortunately. Yes, Howard, yeah. You're saying, I know Downs had a sulk in January because he wanted to go to Ipswich. That didn't come off, did it?
But he's probably glad he didn't. He would have been going back down to the Championship either way. That's the one.
Big up, Dow. Yeah, big up to Dow, Oregon Goon. Again, another Arsenal guy, but a very nice bloke as well. I mean, always good having him on the show as well.
Clearly,
And
by that comment, though, he talks shit.
Dow's he's a good geezer. He really is.
Only joking, Dal. Only joking, mate. Yeah.
See, James, what the links? I've just put it in the chat for him to come in. Howard said, ouch. I met him on some corporate bollocks at Silverstone in the mid 90s. Gave me a magnum of champagne. Lovely bloke. Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Wow.
Mark was saying, my main concern with Potter is at Brighton, he didn't pull up roses. They didn't concede many, but they also never scored many. Yeah, and this is the problem we've got as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose the proof's going to be in the pudding the next couple of seasons. What he's going to bring in and what he's going to get rid of, and do we adopt a style that's going to, turn into, I won't say gold, but at least give us something.
Yeah.
Howard, good to see you.
Howard.
Yeah, already done that, James. Yeah, Budgie, you legend.
Thanks, mate.
Pepsi USA beating Panama later.
Maybe.
Brendan's saying, can we get young Buffon as our next Czech player?
Don't know who he is.
So I have to look out for that one.
No.
Australia 1, Serbia 0. Thank you, Howard. He's saying messing with the Hammers. No, it's all good. It's all good. Ukraine 0, Belgium 1. So saw that. Big up to Arsenal Manic as well. Good to see you. Hope you keep him well, mate.
Arsenal Manic, good evening, boss.
Kosovo Iceland 1-1. And good old Lee Statham TV.
Good evening.
Make sure we go and see Lee's channel as well. Hello, Lee. Hope you're keeping well. The family's all good. Hello, everyone. Hope you're well, mate. And big up to AFC always. Tony and Budgie, big up to yourself as well. Liam Manic. Croatia 2-0 against France.
Oh.
So, good evening, Leon. Hope you're keeping well. Tony and Budgie. Hello, all on the chat as well. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Good evening, Leon.
I've just seen the full-time result for the Turkey-Hungary game. Just before I was leaving work today, apparently we had a phone call because I've got one of the supervisors in my office at the moment, and it turns out that this bunch of chefs had been in some competition over here, and they made all these cakes, like Snow White and all this kind of stuff, all the characters and all this business, and they wanted to take it through to take back with them.
Yeah,
but nah, because at the end of the day, most of it was icing and marzipan, and unfortunately, if you think about explosives with Semtex, and if you have a smell of almonds, it doesn't mix well. It's not a good thing to come through. So of course, it's the case. Yeah, you could take it through in there. Cost you £800. You can take it through. One of the cakes weighed 35 kilograms.
What? 35 kilos. Jesus. They'd have had to have got a bloody 747 cargo to shift all their cakes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, our land enforcement officers, they were there and they took photos of it and that, and they showed us that. I mean, they were impressive. You can't say they were
it's just
bad.
a shame that the law states you can't do it. So,
Well, you've got to remember, we are the incident airport. Any terrorism, hijacking, and that come through to us. So try to wheel that through, and obviously it's the first thing you said. They'd be swabbing it like nobody's business to make sure there's no explosives and stuff. So yeah, it was quite funny.
That's a beautiful cake, mate, but I've got to cut it open and make sure there's no bombs in it.
You know what I mean? Jesus.
No.
But yeah, I think 35 kilograms of one of them. The other one was about 28 or something like that.
What do they do with them? Give them to the staff to
Well,
share.
that was the option. The airport duty manager said, if give it, if they want to take them, let them take it. If people want to take it, they can do all that. But when you looked at it, it was mostly icing and marzipan. I think there was very little cake in them.
Yeah.
So unless everyone's buzzing off their tits with a sugar rush, around the airport. I don't think it would have gone down well. But yeah. I was my irons forever. See, we all know, mate. We all know.
That's it, mate. Closet hammer.
Yeah. Obsidian saying, Michael, I've heard Potter had a pretty good XG at Brighton, but he didn't have great strikers, so he's right at home here. And on that note of what Obsidian's saying there, I mean, what do you make out of this Ferguson situation? I mean, again, we bring him in and nothing.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, it was a dry loan, so it's not like the club are worried that we will have to buy him or anything like that, even if he proves to be shit. But it's not. It's a dry loan. You know, we're borrowing him until August, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's a real strange one. Why would you not, utilise the boy? He's capable, very capable. We know that much. He's shown that against us before. He's had a couple of goals against us.
Yeah. I don't. Again, it's another weird one. I mean,
yeah, it's like the Guilherme.
I was going to say, it's that one as well.
Yeah,
I still, and I'm sure it baffles you as well why this kid's not getting in the game time.
Yeah.
Good evening, JP.
Like in the past, when we've had loan players like Lingard, Victor Moses, Manuel Lanzini, all them players, they got game time while they were on loan. You know, Lanzini was bought as a result of the loan, which I thought was the right thing to do. We tried to sign Victor Moses, but he wanted to try his luck at Chelsea. And Lingard, well, we all know the Lingard story. But this Ferguson scenario, it's a bit of a strange one, Ton, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear people's comments in the chat what they think of it, because it's, we've got two players. One we paid £25 million for, and he's only had. Well, I think if you look at if you put the two of them combined, they're probably not even played 90 minutes to get for the amount of games they've played so far.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Our usuals in Howard's country. So they must have enjoyed themselves. Yeah, it's quite nice in the Downs when the weather's out. Bigger there.
Good evening.
Brendan saying, GP evening. You've changed your picture. Is that a stoat? It looks like it is anyway. Or wag one. It's a ferret. Ferret. Yeah, so there, manic big up bro. Yeah. Howard saying 24 degrees today, usual. My courtyard faces southeast where I sculpt, shirt off, covered in dust, stoned out my gourd. Great day. I'd love to see some of these sculptures of that if he gets a bit too stoned out, kind of thing, what they would end up looking like.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good sculpture of Donald Trump. It's supposed to be Diana, the Princess of Wales. Oh, dear.
They all say like
only joking, Howard.
GP saying, wasn't Ferguson brought in to cover for Antonio? I mean, well, probably Antonio and Fulkrug as well, another one,
And yet neither of those two can play or are playing. And yet we're still not using Evan Ferguson, which is a fucking nightmare, really.
Yeah. How it makes the world a better place, absolutely. Yeah, you bring me sunshine. He's saying, Michael Blees is also saying Ferguson was bought in to keep Guilherme happy. Yeah, another one to sit on the bench with.
Yeah. Someone to hold hands with on the bench.
Oh, if any of you need pills, I can do a good deal. Very nice. Yeah, Morecambe and Moyes. Yes. Good evening to Mama Flossie. Good evening,
Mama. Good evening, sweetheart. Lovely to see you again. Thank you for popping on Old School Hammers last night. Really appreciate it.
I didn't realise, Mama, but condolences for your loss as well, and deepest thought to go out to you and your family.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that she'd had a loss.
Yeah. Andy told me last night. So, and they're saying each other there. They're saying hello, Mama. They're all showing the love. Colin saying Barber is a supporter of West Ham now, but like many sports, but we have never been to the London Stadium, mate. I helped build it, but I missed the bowling ground and I won't go there. Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at what it's like now, yeah, we know that Arsenal, Manic. The Ferguson thing is odd. Yeah, definitely, Brendan. I mean, another one. You know, why are we bringing these players in? Is it a token thing and to appease the fans? Doesn't work. Doesn't work in my eyes.
Mm.
It just seems to be a complete waste.
It's a strange, strange thing. And, you'd think Potter would use him. He's familiar with him.
Well, he's the one who brought him into Brighton, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's the one that gave him his debut and all that. Yeah.
Libya now 1-0 against Angola, so there's some interesting scores going on. Michael Please is saying, even to the other trophy winner in the chat. That's brilliant. Howard, ooh. My flush fit. How you doing, by the way? Yeah. I doubt. Leon saying there must be something else wrong with Ferguson not to be played.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's a pagan idol still. Oregon's asking away the lad. Is the party still going on, Mama? I'm watching the Ireland game. Brendan saying Ferguson's on the bench. I'll let you know if he gets on 2-0 at Bulgaria half time. Thank you, Brendan. Appreciate that. Troy saying, yeah, I skipped the Irish game after seeing Ferguson on the bench. Maybe switch over on the second half. I hope you will. What's the same there? Arsenal mates asking Oregon. We're just speaking to my aunt in Manhattan, but I was discussing some price and I heard about a recent birthday. Oh, they've got that out there, have they?
Oh.
Sure is down. And also, Mama saying, Budgie loved it. Thanks, Budgie loved it. Yeah.
It was very nice to have you on there, and you had a lovely reception from everyone in the chat as well, which was nice. It was just nothing but love, mate, really. And that's what football fans do when they see another team that have, struggled to achieve success in trophies and stuff. When we see another team that have gone longer than we did without a trophy winning it, we're as happy as you are, because it just means that the greedy six ain't getting them.
That's true. But it also shows as well, and we've said this many a times, the people in the chat, and even when we do, we have many people on the panel.
Yeah.
It's a nice community. It's a nice spirit. Everyone gets on well with each other.
Yeah.
Nice conversations and stuff. Even when a certain person.
And that's what I've said about this channel many times, Tony.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. But I say even when a certain person has a skinful on a Sunday night kind of thing and comes on a show and still talks.
I wonder who that could have been.
No idea, man. No idea at all. No idea.
I would.
But I say thanks for the appreciate. No, yeah, I know how it feels. Also, when saying if you want a proper farm, get in touch with Anthony. Yeah, get the farmer Anthony in. He'll help you out. Ferguson didn't start for Ireland tonight over Troy Parrott.
Parrott, ain't he the one that used to play for Tottenham?
I'm trying to figure who he is now. Troy Parrott.
I'm pretty sure he used to be a Tottenham youth player that came up into the first team for a little while and then moved on.
Just don't repeat it. Oregon say Manic Costco's out of eggs last month. Crazy shit, blood. We need to get those chickens working overtime. JB saying, to be fair, Parrot's having a good season in Holland. Oh, that's where he is. He's in that there. George is making the comment that isn't Tadibo struggling to play 60 minutes and have a puzzler? Takes him months to get fit also. Yeah, that's another one, isn't it? I mean, I know maybe it's management hiking him off after 60 minutes plus to keep, just to kind of make sure they're
Mm.
But then it might tell you that there's something more underlying there.
Yeah.
But he's got there's some kind of recurring injury. It could be the fact of he's only lasting up to that period of time, and to save damage limitation, hook him off early, so we don't have to worry about anything going on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I was right. Yeah, Troy Parrott. He was the young lad that progressed from the Tottenham academy into the first team. 2019 for 5 years. He made 2 appearances for the first team.
Okay. That's really interesting.
And then he went on loan. Millwall, Ipswich, Milton Keynes, Dons, Preston North End, Excelsior, and then in 24 he was sold to AZ Alkmaar, who I believe we beat in Europe a couple of years back.
So he's doing all right. Good. It's good to hear that. Yeah, I mean, the Debo one is a funny one. I also make saying, I remember when we had the bird flu and the mad cow disease. Yeah, remember mad cow
Yeah, you
disease?
couldn't eat fucking chicken or beef.
No, because I remember where I come from Newham, you had this herd of cows. They literally come from somewhere. I can't remember, it was in Essex. They had basically a royal pardon from the Queen. They'll end up on Wanstead Flats.
Yeah, I remember that. My uncle used to, he used to do all the pitches and, do all the. He was the groundsman for Wanstead
Oh, was
Flat.
he? Yeah. Because you
Forest Lakeside, yeah.
remember playing on there and seeing a couple of my players and other teams going, doing a slide tackle and that, and then end up going 10 more yards than they should
For a
do
cow
because it's go for the cow pack. But I remember when I was learning to drive, my old man, and we was going on the Wanstead Road, and it was pissing down the rain, and there's these cows in people's front garden, and they're fucking trying to chase them out and all this
Well,
sort
that
of
was
stuff.
one of the reasons why that trench was dug right round the flats, right round the
That's right.
playing grounds and that, so that the cows didn't wander off it down Capel Road and
Yeah.
down Upton Park or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, my uncle used to go out on his tractor every morning with his trailer on it and a shovel, go around picking up all the cowpats, go back to his house, which was directly the opposite the end of Tilney Road on Capel Road.
Yeah.
And he used to tip all the shit into the garden and that. And fucking shit. He was out there for hours with a shovel, chopping it all up, bagging it up, and then selling it to the locals.
Making a couple of quid out of it. Yeah. Too
Yeah.
hard on.
I mean, he used to charge about £1 a bag for it, and it was like a big old sack, 15 kilo sack or whatever. He used to charge about £1 for it, I think.
I mean, funny if you say about the trench. When they dug them the following day on that, there's about 2 cars sitting in the ditch where they would normally go over and have a bit of
You know what? It took
pokey.
my uncle 5 months to dig that by hand.
Bloody hell, man.
Not just him on his own.
Good evening, James.
Good evening.
Good evening, James.
How are we?
Yeah, right, good, mate. Yourself?
Quite sad, really, mate, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I had a message from a subscriber, and it's one of them is sadly got cancer. So,
sorry, mate.
It was a bit. And listen, I don't want to go into a morbid sort of depression tonight, but yeah, it's hurt me out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But this is why we do the YouTube game. We meet people from different clubs, from different areas of the world, and someone in East London might not like it, but someone on the outskirts of Newcastle might. And yeah, listen, it's just sad, But I'm good, mate. I'm good. How is everyone?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Day was lovely today. The weather was nice and good.
Yeah, it was, mate. Yeah.
I was just telling Budgie about a load of Turkish chefs that kind of did a competition over here in the UK, and these cakes they had. I mean, one of them weighed 35 kilos. Fuck, those was in it. But
marijuana.
Yeah, they didn't take it with them. Put it that way. It stayed here in the UK. They weren't going to pay 800 quid to kind of get it hooked to the plane.
Yeah.
But, all good, mate.
What were you saying about West Ham? Are we all happy or are we all depressed?
Well, we were just saying about the strange situation with Evan Ferguson not being played, and of course the Guilherme one, which we've gone on many a times. But Troja just put a comment here, and it's quite kind of writing really. Cornet to Debo, Ferguson. You see a pattern.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Well, two of them are French, one of them's Irish. We don't like the EU. Let's put it like that. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it
In
is with Ferguson.
fairness, I didn't realise actually how many games Cornet had actually played in,
Yeah, played a
especially
few.
during the Conference League run. He played quite a few games during that run. He actually got 3 assists, I think, in the Conference League run.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised at how many games he has actually appeared in. I thought it was a lot less.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, yeah. Yeah, I see this thing with Cornet currently right now, and like people going about they want him back. Fucking hell! It's like a player will go and score a goal at another club. It's like we got to re-sign him.
I know. Yeah, so I know
In
we're
fairness,
desperate
he
at
still
some
plays
point.
for us. He's still our player, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Cornets, as everybody knows, right? But I can see why we've loaned him out, and I can see, I could see justification in not bringing him back because he wasn't good enough, to be fair. But yeah, I think this Evan Ferguson thing is proper weirdo, James. What's your take on that, mate?
For me, I couldn't work out the other day at Everton away why he didn't bring him on sooner. Just doesn't make no sense to me. Like I listen. I trust Potter. I like what he's trying to do. It's going to take time. Yeah, I'm not one of these people that are on his fucking back straight away. But this season, you are going to have to criticize him game by game. You have to see what he does right and what he does game by game. Simply, you've got to give him game by game analysis. It's the easy way to do it. Against Everton the other day, we go 1-0 up, and he doesn't bring him on. And I'm thinking to myself, is that a bit of a man who's going, right, we're 1-0 up, we ain't got to attack now? Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I can understand this if we've got 8 minutes to go in the game and you don't want to bring the striker on and you want to try and see the game out. I can understand that. But we scored on the 69th, 70th minute. Right, that's 25 minutes as good as, right, of play left in the game. He should be on the pitch. He should be on the pitch, and I don't understand why he's not on the pitch. I don't get the philosophy either of this. All right, I know it's possession based, but West Ham, what I've noticed with us is we go a goal down, what we got about us, right? And people use the argument, well, we have to play this way because we haven't got nothing about us. Well, if you're setting up in a sort of defensive structure, which I class it as a defensive structure. Me and Jay had this row quite often on E20. I'll be honest, I just don't see the firepower in there, right? In that formation. Now, if you take out a defender, you go 4-3-3, you put Ferguson up front, Kudus on the left, Bone on the right. It's a complete different. It's a complete different look. You've got someone to aim for. If you go long, you've got 2 wide men who can come inside and have shots from inside, like inside forwards. I agree with the midfield is shit, but I do feel like this season, and I don't like to say it with Potter, but he hasn't really improved no one other than Scholes for me. He hasn't. Like, I look at the defence. Yeah, the defence is better, but is the defence better because it was that shit under Lopetegui? It had to get better because he couldn't get any fucking worse. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know on this one. I really don't know with the Ferguson thing. If he goes and plays 2 games for Ireland, I expect him to start against Wolves away. I really do. I expect it. I'll be like saying, well, you've got this man here, and why is he not playing? Do you know what I mean? And I just don't understand why he's not playing.
I say he's currently on the bench at the moment for Ireland, so the pattern hasn't changed in that respect, basically.
Yeah, but does he? Yeah, but the thing is with the Ireland thing, but if he comes on and plays half hour, or he comes on the next game, he should be coming on and playing for West Ham, right?
Well, yeah.
And the thing that done me on the weekend is we go 1-1, and then Potter makes 2 changes, and he's thinking, right, he's going to bring Ferguson on for 4 minutes. And the thing is with the Everton game, and I will say this, is that if that Alcaraz chance at the end goes in, we are going berserk. We are going mad. I mean, literally mad, because we had full control of the game. and we could have given it away at the end with a goal which they scored and another one which went just past the post. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that one
last
was
minute of the game.
there was a bit panic station there. I think looking at it, it seems to be that he set a game plan up, and he's with him and the coaching staff, they set a game plan up. If they get a goal, shut
Yeah.
up shop. It's easy to keep trying to keep a 1-0 lead, and you're going to get 3 points. But unfortunately, we're not Mourinho and we're not Chelsea. Back in the day when he used to do that, one goal,
Yeah.
shut up shop, that one in the league.
But that's a really good point, though, on the screen there from Words.
Oh, I was going to come to that, Budge. That's why I left it up for a moment. But it's the
Yeah.
fact that, as you said, once that they equalised, you could hear his pupper go from East London all the way out from Goodison, because he panics at that stage and
Yeah, but
whips them in
that
players on.
comment from Words and Pictures, I understand what he's saying, but I want someone to name me 3 things that Potter's done good in regards of players. Because the only one I can think of, and I'll give you my only one, is Scholes. The defenders were good anyway, right? But they was just under a shit manager. The midfield hasn't really improved. The centre forwards, we're not really scoring many goals. Like, I can't think of 3 things that he's done positive at the minute. That's not me being negative. It's just me looking at it from.
I can only really name one other than that. Actually, to be fair with you, James, he's put a smile back on the players' faces.
I agree with you on that. I agree with the morale is better.
Yeah,
Right, I'll give you that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't see
but
player improvement.
individually, he hasn't really improved anybody as yet. You know,
Yeah, but
other than Ollie Scholes, I mean, he's given Ollie Scholes his chances, and
I don't like to say it. I'm going to be straight. Yeah, I don't like to say this, and I haven't said it on E20. Right, I shouldn't really say it on here, but I will say it. I will say it on E20. I just hope Potter hasn't brought Scholes in to get the fan base on side. That's the only thing that I'm hoping that he hasn't done. He hasn't done this. Listen, Scholes is a good player. Scholes come in and the fan base are all up for it. And talk about if you want to get a fan base on side, you bring in one of your own, don't you?
yeah,
Do you know what I'm
exactly
saying?
what he did.
And
Yeah.
sorry, as usual, that's me, heavy breathing. I mean,
Well,
I have to
I mean,
fucking watch shit.
I like it. Look, we start off at least easy E20, not a problem
Yeah.
at all. Then you get Jay. Then you get the Chavmeister. Brilliant. And it's every breathing. But at least I says, even James. At least they know. And obviously, Oregon,
well,
pick up James as well.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I'm saying here. Like, I just don't. I hope he hasn't just done that just to get the fan base on side.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not against Potter. I'm not. I think Potter's the right man for West Ham, and I think he's going to need a lot of help in the summer. Yeah, I think that's key.
Yeah.
But at present, I was expecting a bit more. Like I'm not really seeing anything more than what.
I think the problem there, mate, is you can only work with the tools you've got in front of you. And yes, you expect to see. So, I mean, look, we've said this before. We knew full well when Lopetegui came in and that he wiped their, the playing style, identity, formation, understanding, all them things went out the window because no one had a Scooby what was going on. And Potter's task was to kind of change that and give us back some identity. And obviously, I think he proved it in the first game, and everyone thought, and I think the problem was there. Maybe we got a little bit too excited on that.
Yeah.
That could be that possibility. But at the same point, there was, at least we saw a light at the end of the tunnel rather than kind of like, fuck me, who's gonna turn the switch on because we ain't got a clue where we're going. We saw it in the press conferences with Lopetegui.
Yeah.
And I think, the key thing you see with Potter when he does a press talk, he's not being pushed into anything when they kind of question him on certain players and this and the other. It's, it comes along, it'll come along. So he's biding his time in that. I mean, not saying that's the right thing to do, but when you think that Scholes has been given his chance, and I understand what you're saying on that, but what's good to see as well, that they are looking at the academy and everything else in that for future-proofing themselves for the next couple of seasons. Not saying for next season, next couple of seasons.
The only thing I will say to that is this, is that, and I don't like to compare us to our previous manager, not I'll tell you the other one, But when you look at Moyes going into Everton, you can see a instant difference in the whole team. Yeah, Beto was shit. He was one of the worst players going. Yeah, Moyes goes in there, he's reformed. I've not seen one player of any note which I can really think and go, right, yeah, Potter's improved him. I can't think of any. I can't. Skulls coming in, yeah, right, that's a good move. But Skulls isn't a finished like product at the minute. He really isn't.
No.
I look at Kudus and I was thinking, right, if this is going to change now, Potter can get the best out of Mo. Mo's had one good game, and that was Arsenal away. Yeah, and he hasn't really had another good game. Defensively, he's been better, but going forward, shit. Bowen is Bowen. Well, there's no point even going into that one. I think the defence is more structured, but if you're going to set up in a sort of stance where you're trying not to concede, then how are you supposed to score? That's the $1 million question. Is how are we supposed to score goals to win games? Are we going in it with a mentality of let's not lose this rather than let's try and win this? And that's where the balance is at the minute. I'm not seeing it.
I think where he missed the trick for me, the benchmark was that Arsenal game. Because that's what you should have stole the rest of your season on from. Because at the end of the day, everyone played out their skin.
Yeah.
Played with a structure, we played with a system, and there was shape, there was discipline. They pushed up as a unit, they dropped back as a unit, they kept a solid shape. And you could say, okay, Arsenal didn't have the players that they're normally used to.
Yeah.
If we go with that kind of mindset and mentality into every single game, then we can create things. But because it's so inconsistent at the moment, that's where the cracks appear. And of course, it's going to fall on Potter's head because he's the one who's picking the team.
I don't know. On this one, I just look at this and I feel like the season was dead in January to a point, and we was just going through the motions. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Lopetegui had really stitched us up to a point, really bad. Right. When Potter comes in, I'm expecting, like, over the first few weeks, I'm expecting to see a different style come into play. All I've seen is a structure at West Ham. I haven't seen no style. I haven't really seen anything of any note, like to say, you know what, yeah, this is the future, right? Now, can this fan base accept possession-based football? So basically to suffocate teams to death, pass the ball, pass and move, just basically like Manchester City, but just a bit less than that. Do you know what I mean? And basically scoring a goal and just draining the opposition to a point. I don't think they can, mate. I don't think they can because I think they look at it. And my attitude is to this is that I just don't see how we spin a game around in this formation. I just don't. I've seen it done with Potter. I've seen it done with Moyes. I've seen it done a few times in this sort of 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 or whatever system it is. And I just don't see how they turn it around. Like, it's like West Ham have to score first to be in the game, and then basically in a gambling aspect, anyone who's a better out there, we're like starting with +1 because we have to score first to get something out of the game. Do you know what I'm saying? And there was 3 or 4 games that I watched. Yeah, I'll tell you what it was. The last 4 games proved a lot to me because the Arsenal game proves to me that West Ham, when they get stuck in, they can and they're up for it. They can beat anyone on their day. Yeah, and yet again, the Arsenal game fell into the sort of realms of everything went our way. We scored just before half time. They had a man sent off. Everything fell to us. But if they would have equalised with 10 men and one of them chances would have went in, people would have been gutted. It would have felt like a loss. Yeah. Leicester game, that was the game for me where I looked at it and I thought, right, I expect West Ham to go straight through Leicester because Leicester can't win a game. Leicester are poor and Leicester are going down. Yeah. It was more, we scored 2 goals, we sit back and that's it. Now we've done our job. And I was like, I don't know about this one. Like, the season's dead. Like, give something back. Like, give a team a good hiding to a point. The Newcastle game was another one where I looked at it and I thought, why are you not getting stuck in here against Newcastle? You know Newcastle got a cup final in 6 days' time. Why are you not really going to town here and really trying to win the game? the game was poised. Basically, first half we was okay. Second half we come out, we didn't have a shot on target, not one at home against Newcastle United, and I'm expecting West Ham to at least have shots on goal. Right, listen, if they can't win the game, at least have shots on goal to make their keeper work. The keeper was sitting there, and standing there in a fag. Do you know what I'm saying? Like doing nothing. And then the Everton game, I thought we was by far the better side. I'm going to be honest. I thought first half we weren't good, but they weren't good, but we were better than them. I thought second half we come out of traps and we looked right up for it. I mean, like really up for it, and we got the goal. And I'm thinking, right, you've got the goal now. Go and get the second one and kill this game off. Yeah, you've like there's too much time left in the game to keep fucking about and going back into a sort of low block possession based game. Like go for the throat, go and get the second one. If Everton equalise, then you play the game out to see how it pans out. But don't sit back after 20 with 25 minutes to go and go, all right, we're just going to see this out. Now, if Potter goes and gets the win at Everton, people look at it and think it's a masterclass. Where he doesn't get the win, people look at it like myself and go, well, we gave it away. And for me, we just can't afford to keep giving them sort of games away. Now, we've got Wolves and Bournemouth coming up in the next 2 games. I'll be straight. I expect 4 points minimum. Like at the bare minimum. And I needed to see more, and I haven't at the minute. I'm not against the geezer because it's been a shit season, and he needs his players in. I understand that, but I needed to see him improve some of the current crop, and he just hasn't, in my opinion.
I mean, would you make that yourself, Badge, or what James is saying?
I agree completely, mate. I think that there needs to be some kind of change to the setup forward and midfield. That's inevitable. It's got to happen. We've been waiting for that to happen for a good few months now, haven't we? And I think that with the players that he's got at the moment, it's very difficult to make a difference because of the system that he's running. If he was to play a more expansive formation, for example, I don't know, 4-4-2, for example, I don't know, any bloody, expansive formation, I think you would get more out of the players. I think by playing with 3 or 5 or whatever you want to call it at the back, I think that limits the amount of forward movement that we have a lot more. Because of having 3 central defenders, we lose out either in attack or in midfield.
What do you boys think of the 5 at the back? Because it is like, is it a 5? Is it a 3? Is it 3-4-3? Like, what is it like in your eyes?
Well, listen, when they play with 3 central defenders, it's either a 3 or a 5 at the back, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah.
And that is a brilliant setup for certain games, and for others, it's a kiss of death. Yeah, you could not play against Manchester City with a 5 at the back and expect to get anything out of it.
Yeah, you need to.
You've got to have a solid 4 at the back for me.
Well, I think it comes down to the opposition as well, though, Budge. That sometimes you can go with, 3 central defenders, and basically you got your wing backs doing their job. You can do that. The 4, yes, in certain games, and obviously 5, you can do that as well. Because obviously, what you're looking at that point there, depending on how the opposition is and where the ball is being played, you can move the team around to attack on one side or the other, basically. So you've got that option. Have we got the personnel that's kind of on board with that sometimes? I know, as I think we said, that looking at the goal that Everton scored, everyone was questioning the Mavropanos, where he should have been in, his positioning. And that's where I think there's certain times Mavropanos can be okay. I wouldn't say he would be great. He could be okay. But he lets himself down a lot of times because of the way he positions himself. And he exposes quite a lot.
I agree with you on that, but I don't think we should be in that situation in the first place, though.
Shouldn't be, no. I agree on that.
Like if you're a football manager, and Tony, you've done football stuff, yeah, right? Would you be sitting there on the 71st minute after us going 1-0 up and go, right, I'm not going to bring no one on. I'm going to wait and try and see this out?
I'll be looking for a change, mate, because at the end of the day, I know 1-0 and that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it gives the opportunity for the other team to get something on you. If you get a second goal on that, then it gives you a bit of a comfort zone. You can't rest on your laurels because all they've got to get is one goal, and it's suddenly squeaky bum time and that. And you look at the clock and it's like, fuck me, I've still got 10 minutes to go.
It's the old saying, isn't it? Like, attack is the best form of defence.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're attacking, they've got to defend. So, like, I just felt on that Everton game, I thought, no, you fucked this up, Potter. I'm going to be straight. Like, on that one, I was thinking, like, and the problem is, people go, oh, well, who we got? Well, that's what I keep hearing. Who we got? We've got a 19-year-old centre forward who's supposed to, or 20-year-old centre forward who's supposed to be the next big thing. He's sitting on the bench. We've got Lewis Guilherme sitting on the bench, right? And he can't even get a sniff. And I don't know why he's here. Like if you're not playing the man and you don't believe in the man, why the fuck was he not sold in January? Like, that one makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of question marks at the minute where I'm not really getting the answers. Yeah, and listen, we all know as West Ham United fans, yeah, the summer window is always key to how we're going to do, right? But we are taking a major risk here. Yeah, major risk that we are hoping that Potter gets every single signing absolutely spot on. I mean, like, absolutely from. I don't think the goalkeepers are going to be touched this year. I'll be very shocked. I'll be very surprised.
I was going to come on to that. The goalkeeper situation there. There's one thing I want to go back on because JB's asked you a question here. He said, like, James, what's your opinion on Troy Parrott? He's having a good season in Holland. He's young, maybe a good potential still, though he's played a few games now for a few clubs. A good Ings replacement.
Troy Parrott's ex-Spurs.
Yep,
he come through the Spurs youth team. I think he's Irish, if I got it right. I'm sure he's an Irish striker, and I've seen a little bit of him. The man, if you want to go and get a man and swap wages around, you go and get Jonathan David. That's the guy. That's the one, right? If you go and get Jonathan David, yeah. If you go and get rid of Ings, and then you give Jonathan David 125 grand a week, right, 150 grand a week, he's worth it because he's a free transfer and you can afford to give him the extra dough. But Troy, I think he's got to do a bit more in Holland, really. Well, maybe another season there and see how he gets on, and maybe then you look at him. But for me, Jonathan David's the guy, mate. And if it ain't him, we have to go out and we have to go and get someone of talent.
Well, we've been linked to Tammy Abraham again.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. But the thing is, look, I'll be perfectly honest, right? Jonathan David is a really decent prospect for us. Really, really good prospect. That if we got him in, I'm sure he would do absolutely fine and he would be a really good addition to the squad. The thing is, for the last 4 years, I've been hearing he's coming.
Yeah.
We're getting him. And I'm now at the point, James, where I go, well, do you know what? Fuck him. If he's not going to come, then don't bother chasing him. Yeah. I think Tammy Abraham is a much better option for us because he will want to come to West Ham. He wants to come back to London.
You got to look at this though. Is it him? Is it his agent, or is it Sullivan? You also got to remember Sullivan.
I know, but whatever it is, for the last 4 years, they've been pissing me right off.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I can't see past that now, though, James. You know, it's got to that point.
Yeah, but the thing is, now Sullivan's got nowhere to run. He's going to have to give Potter what he needs. Like, and we all know it. Like, we all know that our midfield's shit. We all know we need a centre forward at the club. We all know that we haven't Mikel Antonio. We don't know what we're going to do. What's going to happen with him? So we all know this. Yeah, we all know what the crack is now, and so does Sullivan to a point. And Sullivan now has to give Potter the tools and the finances to go and get the players he wants. The only fear I've got with it is that you're going to go and get all these players that Potter might be recommended by Carl McCauley. They might fit the philosophy, but nothing works perfectly at West Ham. We all know this. But we all know this, right? And to go out and get a window absolutely bang on, because that's what it would have to be. Because if people are saying certain man no good for this club no more, and they need to be moved on. Whether that's Mavropanos, whether that's Souček, I've heard, whether that's Alvarez, whether that's all these people, you've got to replace them, and you've got to replace them with players who can hit the ground running straight away. And that is my biggest fear, right? And in the summer, I'll be monitoring it like you boys will, like everyone in the chat, like who's West Ham related, like, and I'm nervous about this one because I don't. It's not Potter, it's Sullivan that concerns me, and he always has done. Because if Potter wants a man, and say for instance he goes and says, "Right, I want some Danish or Icelandic attacking midfielder from Lille or Leon or wherever it is," you know. And then Sullivan says, "Well, I'm not going to pay the money for that man because I think there's a better option elsewhere through Salthouse." That is when we're going to have a problem. So I'm a bit concerned by it.
I suppose the way I see it like this, remember, he was supposed to be coming in on a 6-month contract, gets this 2.5-year deal. So there, for me, either he set the stall down and he's convinced them that this is what he wants.
Yeah.
And for them to give him that kind of contract, there must be some proviso that they are going to support him back. I mean, I did see a thing because they've been so impressed with how he's changed things around from what we had previous. We're still feeling the effects of it.
Yeah, but do you know what it is?
I know you got this, and you're not wrong with it. It's a case of, we've got to see this window coming up and the one after that. Does he make an impact with that? If he doesn't make an impact with that, then for me, that's when I'll be asking questions.
I think next season, mate, if I'm being honest, I don't think personally that the West Ham fan base or the West Ham community will wait for Potter. I think there is people currently right now sitting there going, well, we need to see more. Right, we want to see attacking football. This is the thing I keep hearing. Now, on the one side of it, I want to see West Ham win games of football. I do, yeah. I really care about us attacking and blowing teams away? No, right? But I do care about us winning games of football and playing a way that don't give games away, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? And giving away points. Now, I'll see what Troj says there on your comment about Alvarez, Paqueta, and Kudus. Kudus hasn't been the same player. He hasn't. No. He's had one fucking good game, and he's had good defensive games, but that's it. Alvarez is a walking yellow card every single game. We all know it. And the moment he gets a yellow card, then he becomes a walking red card, right? And that's a problem. And Lucas Paqueta's had 2 good games against Villa. He had a good game in the cup, good game against him in the league. Since all this has started to come out about the trial and all that, which is currently going on right now, and all this stuff about the betting stuff, he might not even be our player by the end of March. He might be banned for life with an appeal. So we've got a lot of problems, and even that's a problem. Because in the summer, if that goes the way that I believe it might do, because I think the FA are going to come after him with everything, then we've got to replace him. Yeah, it's a lot. There is a lot to unpack here. A hell of a lot.
Yeah. And I think if you look at it, that's the 2 previous managers we've got to look at in that respect for that. Leon's saying if Ferguson hasn't added anything to the team much, we paid to loan him plus the 25 million for Guilherme, who gives the go ahead for these transactions. Well, we know. I think
going back to what you were just saying there, though, James. Also, we will have to replace Paqueta when that happens, but also we'll have to do it without any money for him. We're not getting bugger all back for him. We've lost 50 million quid.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen there, don't you? And I can see it coming.
Even Damien.
Exactly that. West Ham will sue him, and it'd get very, very messy, and it'd be like the. Do you remember Adrian Mutu? Do you remember him at Chelsea? Where the club went after him and all that because of the cocaine and all that game. Right, that's what's going to happen here with Paqueta. Now, it's going to get messy there, right? Really bad. But the problem is, it doesn't benefit us, right? Because in one way, we've got an asset there that's gone down the Carsey, basically. It's like having a Ferrari, and then someone's come in and robbed all the bits of it, and all you got is a shell left. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just concerned about. I just hope Potter. I hope Potter's ready for this summer. That's all right. Do you know what I mean? And people use the Brighton comparison. Listen, at Brighton and Hove Albion, they have got a conveyor belt of talent. They work on the money ball system. Yeah, that's what they've always done ever since they've come in. And Tony Bloom is a man who's highly intelligent. Yeah, he's involved in betting and things like that. He knows what he's doing. Right, do you know what I'm saying?
But the difference being there, mate, you just said it, you got someone at the top who knows how to work from top
Yeah.
to bottom. That's the big difference for me straight away. That portfolio, how it works for them, is nailed on, and you know full well they'll never sell you that secret how they do it, because it's a system that works for them, and also
But if you was asking a Brighton fan, though, Tone, what is your ambition for your club 2, 3, 4 years ago? I don't know many Brighton fans, if any. Yeah, I would have probably said, having a guess, is to stay in the Premier League and maintain Premier League status. Yeah, it's only recently since De Zerbi was in there, then De Zerbi left, and obviously they've got a new manager in now. Is that they're looking at trying to compete for Europe consistently.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So like when Potter's under no pressure there really, other than to keep him in the league, then it's fine. At this club, what do you expect next year?
All you want to see from in that respect, I mean, like, you know, I'll answer it first and get budget to answer afterwards, and obviously people in the chat. I mean, obviously, we're way behind in the comments. I'm going to come and catch up with them in a minute. But for me, what I want to see for next season is stability. That's the key thing. You know, if you get results, you get results, but we need stability, and we need to, you know, from that, learn from that, and then everything else can start falling into place. Because if you haven't got that part, first of all, it's a no-brainer. It's not going to work, full stop.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see for next season, one of the things I'd like to see is for David Sullivan to step down, but that ain't going to happen.
Mate, the day that happens, mate, I think we're having street parties, the whole works.
You know that. But I think realistically, for next season, stability is a great starting block, perfect starting block. But I'd also like to see a little bit of investment in. I want to see a little bit more investment in the players that we still have, that we've currently got. I don't mean financial investment.
No,
I mean moral investment.
Yeah,
you know,
agree on that.
When David Moyes was here, now I don't like to keep harping on about him because I was one of the ones that called for him to go, and I'm glad he's gone. But while he was with us, we had players that were feeling good about themselves. They were feeling good about the role that they had in the club. And David Moyes was kind of arm round the shoulder type with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not seeing a lot of that with those players anymore, who incidentally still need it.
I think the problem with I can answer that one for you, because I think this is where the problem you have, and obviously this is where a lot of clubs are like it. You've got to remember now, what is the main title most of these people get given? They don't get called manager anymore.
They're coach.
They're coach, exactly. And the problem with a coach is that's their job, is to coach the team. The manager is the one that will put the arm around the shoulder and, you know, give them the bollocking and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Once you take that out the equation and you've just got someone that's classed as a coach, then you've got a different kind of mindset. Right. And it's one of those, because obviously that's what they've been in the previous team, or that's how they've learned their trade. Sometimes some people, a coach and a manager, it is a big difference between the two. And some can't adapt. That's the problem you've got there as well. Just going to go on this before you answer that, James. And obviously, like, you know, this is the question relating about what Potter's done. GP saying defending more solid, Alvarez better, tries more formation than David Moyes. Damien, good evening to yourself as well. Conceding less goals, introducing Scholes, and improved morale. Question at centre back, and they're also saying Scholes was due. Yeah, definitely there. Cresswell even look improved. Yeah, I think we can agree on that as well. Yeah. Managed to avoid him being isolated 1v1. So yeah, there's a few people saying things like that.
I wouldn't say that Creswell's improved per se, but what I would say was that
He looks
now that he's
rejuvenated, as they
opportunity to
rejuvenated,
play,
probably the word.
he's showing you why he was always there and why he's been there for so long. I think Creswell has just done his job when he's been given his opportunities,
I actually
and then
agree
he's
with Budgie.
taken on the responsibility of mentoring Ollie Scholes as well while he's playing, and that's no mean feat. You know?
But do you know what? When I see them comments, they go, "Oh, we concede less goals." Well, I fucking expect to concede less goals when we've got 5 at the back and 3 defensive-minded midfielders. Isn't it? Like,
yeah, but it's the problem we've got there. It's the where the keeper lets you down. For me, again, this is obviously as a manager's point of view. When I used to use my football, I don't look at what the defenders done for the mistake they made. I look where the ball was lost in the first place upfield. Because if they're not doing their job there, it should be if they're doing the job at the top there, it should be coming back here, because we should be doing a job at the other end of the pitch. If it's coming back, then someone's failing us. Simple as that. Ray said there's no way we'll get Jonathan David. We'll probably end up with his namesake, Craig. Can you imagine that? Although, which day of the week you side does anyone's guess? Howard's gone. He stopped us shipping goals. He's improved morale. Skulls regular football. We beat the Arsenal at their ground. Why are you not happy, E20? He's been here at heartbeat with a depleted squad.
It's not a case of. It's not. I just want to answer that. It's not a case of not being happy, but let's not make out that the man's done fucking turned water into wine. Do you know what I mean? Let's not, please, because there's been games where we've been absolutely obliterated in games. Brentford, Palace.
They're I look at size though, James, aren't they? Them two, they're fucking.
I look at but I look at them games and I think, what? Okay, let me ask you this then: what was the manager bounce with Potter?
Briefly,
I don't think there really was one.
No, for me, it's the first game he played against Villa.
So
I say briefly on that, and
So basically, then what we're saying is 45 minutes, because that's what it was, the first half.
Yeah, because what we saw there was that change can happen. Because we needed it, and it was something that made everyone sit and think, you know what, maybe we can get something out of this. But I'm just going to jump to that one. Where was it now? No, it was actually
I think the best players that we. Sorry, go on, Tony.
That's all right. And obviously, say and Trosh is saying, sensible fans written off this season will show patience and not judge. I mean, there is a few people like that, and I do agree with that comment. But unfortunately, as well, I think over the years, a lot of us have seen that we can also be a fickle lot as well.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, but I get what. Listen, I like Troge. Yeah, shout out to Troge wherever he is. Right, I get the comment, but are you telling me right now that that players are massively improving? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a 2-man attack that doesn't really work with Bone and Kudus. Doesn't work. Right? We've tried it so many times. It still does not work. And don't no one come in the chat and say that, he ain't got no one. He's got fucking Evan Ferguson on the bench. So, and we've got 8 games left with Evan Ferguson at this club. 8. How can you judge a man in 8 games? If he's not playing. Do you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make no sense.
Well, at the moment, we're having to judge him on 8 minutes, James.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Gil Herbie on 3 and Evan on 8,
And the thing is with that, he'll go and bring on Danny fucking Ings, who's out the door at the end of the year. You've got to be balanced on this, yeah? And I'll say this quite passionately, you've got to be fucking balanced. You can't be bringing on Danny Ings, who you know is not going to be here. And then you've got Luis Guilherme sitting on the bench, who none of us know how good he is. None of us, really, because we haven't seen him. And the Evan Ferguson thing just baffles the life out of me, because we've been crying out for a centre forward, yeah, someone who could hold the ball up, someone who could do this, that, and the other. But we never see him. We never see this geezer. For long enough to judge him.
Though, James, have you considered though that the board, whether it be, Baronet, whatever a frigging title is, or David Sullivan. Have you considered, though, they might be saying to the managers, you've got 120 grand sitting on the bench every week,
Yeah.
Danny Ings, and you've got 20 grand or 30 grand a week in Lewis Guilherme. I want you to get me my money's worth. He's
Right.
got to use Danny Ings, hasn't he?
Not necessarily, mate. Not necessarily.
No, but
because
what I'm saying is that, you know, if the board are giving him grief, you know, we're paying this man 120 grand a week. I want to
Right.
see him on the pitch.
yeah, but who's
He's
more
got no fucking choice.
of an asset? Lewis Guilherme or Ings? Because to me, Guilherme's more of an asset because he's got
Yeah, I agree with you, James, but that's not the argument I'm putting forward. What I'm
Right.
saying is that if the board are saying, I would rather you use the 120 grand a week player rather than the 30 grand a week player, then
right.
the coach, manager, or whatever will have
So
no
basically,
choice.
then, the board is picking the team then, because if that is the
If
case,
that is the case, that would
Yeah.
be that would be an accurate
I don't,
assumption. Yeah,
I don't think Graham Potter, a man who's managed many clubs like that, would have that. I don't think he's been sitting there going, well, you're going to have to make sure Ings gets a game. I just don't see it. And if that's the case, then fair enough. But then what's the excuse with Evan Ferguson? Like, what is that? Like, what is the excuse with that one? Because we needed a striker because Mikel Antonio wasn't there and Fulkrug wasn't there.
yeah.
You've got a natural striker sitting on the bench, and we're going with two wingers up front. It just, it.
Yeah, and and to be fair, the club should be able to have the opinion or the approach that, well, actually, Evan Ferguson isn't our player, but he can do well for us. Let's flog him to fucking death before we send him back, and get every minute we can out of him. They could go that route as well, and they haven't done that either.
I think
So
I think they're
I-
fucking about. Do you know what I honestly think? Someone said it in my chat, and I thought about it, and I thought, I don't know, you maybe got a point. Yeah, maybe they're not playing him because they could go to Brighton at the end and say, well, we haven't really seen much of him. Would you take 40 mil for him or something? Do you know what I mean? It's just, the thing what does me with this club is we try and do square pegs in round holes, and it just baffles the life out of me. We put left backs at full at 3-man defence. No disrespect to Cresswell, but we've had to do that because our other centre half is shit. We've got wingers playing up front. It's all over the gaff. Now, someone just said in the chat there, I think it was Damien. Yeah, shout out to Damien, Italian massive, right? If Fulkrug comes back and he's fit, who starts? Because if none of them start, if you don't see Fulkrug starting or you don't see Ferguson starting, then I do not know what he's trying to do up front then. Because Kudus and Bowen does not work. Doesn't work.
And I was going to come back to that comment you said about them two. Now you got to think the problem you got with these two. We all know that Bowen's, he's loved. Kudos was, and we're slowly losing patience the way he's playing. But you've got two players there, very similar, and each vying for, I'm the top dog. No, I'm the top dog. And that's why I think there's certain times that them two don't work. It's because of that reason.
Yeah, but Tone, like, the thing is with the Mo thing, I done a video the other day, me and Jay done it, and it was a fucking good video, I must admit. I was quite pleased with how it come out, me and him, right? And we spoke about Mo in depth, yeah, and we said basically give us like 3 things, like 3 topics about Mo. And let's have it right. This man's been playing in his wrong position all season. He hasn't played in his natural position once, really.
Well,
left side.
Not just this season, mate.
Yeah, even with Moyes, yeah. But as a collective this season, because this season's been his worst, right? He's played on the left. He's not a left-sided attacker, right? He's just not. And like I used to have arguments with people and they used to try and say to me, oh yeah, but he has to play there because where else is he going to play? And I'm thinking, well, you play him in a fucking position that fits him. You don't put him in there for the sake of putting him in there. Do you know what I'm saying? But and Trojan, I can't get on board with that because if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to start or he's fit enough to play. I can't get on board with that, brother. I really can't.
Well, we're saying we haven't had a fit striker as everyone we had so far, and that is bloody knackered.
Ferguson's fit.
Oh,
Right.
and you saw that when he came on, he had a bags of energy, and not the Everton game, the one before that. He came on, started running around, put a bit of challenges in, but other than that, why is he not getting game time? It's a thing. I don't know. There's a few things that when the dust settles,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get the answers, and Potter might come out a bit more and be open about it. But we'll see. I would say there, Jimmy Tadibo was injured, Paqueta's injured. Fuck, yeah, Daniel said, if you want me to be honest, I think he said to WP, if you're coming back, I'll play you. I think he needs to come out the side now, though. Alvarez and centre mid, push Paqueta higher up. Just my opinion. The problem is Alvarez is a walking disaster at the moment because, like you said, you got if you want to run a book on that, you'd be putting what time is Alvarez going to get a yellow?
And the problem is, if he gets a yellow early, he jeopardises the team. Because then, if he just for argument's sake he plays a game and he gets booked after half hour, he's walking a tightrope for the next 15 minutes up to half time and the next 15, 20 minutes after half time. Because you can't really sub him there and then. And I'm not being funny. Alvarez, I used to love Alvarez, but the one game this year that angered me to the point of never being so fucking angry all my life was Nottingham Forest away.
Oh shit, yeah.
When he just goes flying in and he mugged off the club, he mugged off the manager at the time, and I know Lopetegui was shit, but he threw him under the bus, and he mugged off the fans, right, who was there in the ground, and the fans all around the world, like literally going in there with no, just I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do. He was speaking on the truth, but that's what he did. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can't forgive that. I really can't.
Yeah.
Give Fulkrug and Ferguson a go on the bench.
I want to go back to the James Ward-Prowse thing about saying that he should be, dropped and this and that. I think he's probably been one of the most improved players in our side this year.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
What he was like before he went to Southampton. Forest. I thought we had a decent player when he came back. I thought he's been playing reasonably well. And the thing is, a lot of people go on about how he's just a dead ball specialist and this and that. I've just looked it up, right? He's had 7 goals for West Ham. One of them from a dead ball. And that was a corner.
Great goal. Yeah. Wolves away.
Yeah. That was. Yeah, it was a good goal.
But he's had 1 goal from a dead ball. So the other 6 have all been in open play. So, he gets himself into positions, he moves about. I don't agree that he should be dropped. I think he should be used more, if I'm honest. I think James Ward-Prowse fits this side perfectly. He fits the Potter way of thinking.
The midfield debate, honestly, because I see so much hate for Souček, which baffles me. Like, it really does. Do you know what I mean? Then I look at people like Andy Irving. I just don't think he's going to make it. Yeah, because like Carlos Soler, would you sign him? I probably wouldn't. Yeah, and when you go through the whole of that midfield, you probably, if you was a malicious and sort of eccentric person, you get rid of every single one of them. You really would, deep down, right? You'd go, Alvarez is a walking yellow card. Is he going to fit in a possession-based game? Probably not. Ward-Prowse, you'd probably keep him because you wouldn't get a lot of money. Right, I don't think teams would be queuing up to take Ward-Prowse off us, but you keep him for an experience factor. And then the rest of them are just surplus to requirements, really. Soler shit, Guido Rodriguez shit, Lucas Paqueta facing jail. Do you know what I mean? It's just and this is where it goes back to the summer. Like the summer, he's going to have to go out and he's going to have to find, he's going to have to hit big on at least 3 of them in midfield. Going to have to. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, tries to make the point here. They mentioned about the January window and that weren't ambitious enough. And he says every January we send a message to the squad that we've given up because we've not brought anything else in. Trickle down effect. Yeah, I get that. Sully doesn't like spending on Christmas, and this is the problem. We're not going to invest in that. We're not going to see much of an improvement.
You know where his money went in January, don't you? Sullivan.
Potter.
No, that's sacking Lopetegui. That's where it went.
Yeah.
That's like, if you want me to be honest, and then all that about the concessions, they come out and say they're going to look after the people, and they put that clause in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is like, say it's doing members or something. I'm not too up on it, but the reason why he didn't spend because he had to sack Lopetegui and pay him off. Sullivan only looks after himself. He don't look after no one else at his club. And when people come out of this shite about he spends money, he's got £1 billion asset sitting there. Remember that? Like he's gonna. It's like an house, isn't it? So like if you've got an house and your house is worth $500,000, if you let the house fall apart, it's gonna go down in value, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
True.
So he's gonna have to put money into it. So listen, it's not when people come out of that cock and bullshit about he spends money. It really does wind me up, because the reason why it winds me up is because they think he's doing us a favour. He's not. He's not really. Like he should be looking to invest in West Ham, right? Not like fucking Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more? You know what I mean?
Great comment here from you, though, and for you and Budge. He's saying the season is a washout. The Lopetegui saga killed it. Totally agree on that, because I say we're still feeling the effect of that, man. Start again next season.
Yeah.
All it is with next season is I think we need to get a lot of stuff addressed, like towards the back end of this season. Right, I'm hoping that we're not looking at selling any of our big hitters. Now, the thing is with Mo's an asset, isn't he? But Mo's a big asset, and if you was to go and sell Mo, and I asked this question, funny enough, the other day on E20, is where does Mo fit next year? Like, where does he fit in the side? If you go with a centre forward and Bowen is like the captain and he's forever going to be sort of loved, where does Mo fit? In a starting 11, in a 3-4-1-2 system. I don't know where he fits, if I'm being honest.
So I'll put it to you two, and I'll put it to the chat. Is he going to be here for next season?
No.
I think the only way he leaves if Saudi money comes. I don't think no one in the Premier League is spending mental money on this geezer. Yeah, and when I say mental money, I mean like 85 mil. It wouldn't surprise,
wasn't it?
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't if we see a player plus cash deal. So basically, we're going to get a player off a team, wherever it may be.
Villa.
Villa or Liverpool. If Liverpool had a player there that they were looking to get rid of, plus cash.
We'd be happy with Kelleher and cash, wouldn't we?
But I think goalkeepers are the least of the problems at the minute, even though it is a problem.
It is, but his name's been bantered about. You mentioned Liverpool.
Yeah.
A player and cash deal. That would be one that I think most West Ham fans would get on board with.
I don't think, just say this, I don't think no one's paying 85. So we've either got to take a bullet for it and say, right, we accept 60 or 70, or we keep the man. The problem is that if he goes as a 10, why is Potter not playing him in a 10? Now, if you know that's your lineup for next season and you're keeping him, why are you not playing him in a position that he's going to get familiar with next season? That's the only thing that I can think of. I can't think of anything else, like other than a 2-man attack.
Yeah, interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, if someone does come in, it's either, like you said, it'd be Saudi money, or you're going to get some club that's going to be ambitious and spend the money to get hold of him. But we'll see on that.
Could be Newcastle. I don't think it'd be Villa, because I think Villa have got like Rashford and all these other ones, Bailey and all that. Could be Arsenal. It could be Arsenal. Arsenal could come calling again. And if they do that, that'll fucking just kill me. Yeah. But, and this is the thing, right? This is what I said the other day, funny enough, right? I turned around and said, if Potter does let him go or does keep him, it's got to work either way, right? Because he will be looked at and saying, right, if you let him go, the money that you get, and let's have it right, he might get 60 mil. Doesn't mean he's getting all of it. Yeah, because we all know what Sullivan's like. Sullivan will probably give him about £10.50. Do you know what I'm saying? So he has to get it right. He has to get it right on both sides. So if that's keeping him, he's got to use him in a position that's going to benefit Mohamed Kudus. If he lets him go, he's got to make sure that A, he lets him go for the right money, and B, the players that come in and replace him hit the ground running straight away.
It's got to be better, that's for sure.
It has to be, yeah.
Totally agree on that. Damien sent the charge. I think it's a morale thing before the football thing, which I think was needed. Definitely, we needed the morale because, I think Lopetegui drained that completely out of us.
Great.
I don't mind him bringing on youngsters and Irving a bit. Yeah, he's Irish and playing right now. That's obviously the Holland kid. I think you need to start trimming it down soon and making the starting level more identifiable. Yeah, rather than playing the usual. Totally agree on that. And don't really matter how much Damien. He's just experimenting like this is pre-season there. I suppose it's not a bad shout. I mean, are we? Is he just going to see it through, ready for the new season? There's that as well.
I can't. I swear.
But
I swear.
Howard's backed it up on this one as well. He goes,
Yeah.
It feels to me expectations are far too high for our current situation. And that's not a bad shout when you think about it, because we expecting too much?
Yeah, but what should we be expecting then? What is too much to expect?
I think the problem is, let me give you an example. Charlton Athletic, Alan Kirbishley, when they was in the Prem. Got the 42 points, shut up shop. It was like that for a good couple of seasons, and then the fans suddenly turned around and said, we want more. We expect more. And they pushed and pushed and pushed, and then Kirbishley lost his job because of it.
Right.
Yeah. Look where they are now. So, and it's a case of, yes, it's bad management from who run the club. There's that. But when you look at that kind of, and sometimes fan bases can affect the way a club runs.
Right.
If you push it too hard, then you've got to remember, at the end of the day, they're human beings. They can obviously down tools on us as well.
I don't know about this one, because the way I look at it is when people keep saying it's a pre-season, then why are you setting up defensively then? Like if people are going to say, right, this is a pre-season, the season's dead, why the fuck are we setting up with 5 at the back and 3 defensive-minded midfielders? Like you can't have it both ways. You can't say it's a pre-season and then we're not exploring other options. Like even with the subs, like Lewis Guilherme, why is he not being given an opportunity?
Do you know that old science one? Like when you toast a bit of butter and it falls out your hand and it lands buttered down.
Yeah,
Guilherme's in the same bracket as that. Why this kid's not being played?
And the thing is, Tone. The thing is, I understand the season's dead. I'm with you, right? I said it. Funny enough, I was in the pub the other day. I spoke to a few of my mates in the boozer, and I said, "Don't you find that the British Premier League this year has been flat?" And they said, "Yeah." He said, "Like the relegation's wrapped up, the title's wrapped up, the sort of European spots look like they're going to be sort of forming. Yeah, it just depends who goes where, and that's it, right? So there's nothing really to play for, and we're currently in March, right? If people keep saying this is a dead season, then why the fuck are we set up defensive then? Like why? Like why are we setting up in a way to not try and expand and try and win games and win games looking good at doing it? Or are we just going to use the fact that we haven't got the players? Like I don't buy it. I don't like if Nicholas Forcrew comes back, what's he going to sit in the bench for another 2 weeks and say, or a month and say, he ain't fully fit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, get Budgie's opinion on it first, because I think for me,
I think perhaps there's probably many facets to this story, but I think one of them, which seems fairly obvious, but I mean, I think that what it is, I think the reason he's not setting up to, the reason he is setting up defensively is because he's reverting to type. That's what he does.
Do you think do you think in his contract he's got a like a pro rata effect?
Quite possibly.
Yeah,
Knowing David Sullivan as we do, it's probable.
yeah. That's the one thing that's crossing my mind to a point where I'm looking at it and thinking, has he got to meet targets? And he's thinking to himself, right, I can't experiment here because I've got to hit these fucking targets. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard to go and like
That's
let
very
loose
possible.
when you've got to meet a standard. Yeah, and we all know what Sullivan's like. He's probably got a fucking clause in there, like, and all he takes on the training pitch or some shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So we all know it. But that's the only thing I can think of. Like, I know it's a dead season. Yeah, I just wish we would like the Bowen and Kudus thing up front. We've seen it a few times. It ain't really working. Why has he not changed it? Like, it's you know what I mean. Like, he played that he played that front two for the last 4 games, right? I'm not even counting the Leicester game because I expect West Ham to beat Leicester, and so should everyone else in the fucking chat and everyone who watches this back. Right, I expect to beat Leicester City at home. Right, I really do. And I just feel like I'm not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I see the best way of summing it up. It feels like the handbrake's pulled up, and we're going along, but we're not.
We're
You ain't let the handbrake
we're being
down.
held back, and
Yeah.
we're stifling our own progress in that respect. So that's not a bad point, actually.
I see that
Brendan,
comment there. Ferguson's on for Ireland.
yeah, finally
If
on.
he scores, he'll be on for West Ham. I guarantee it.
Let's hope. We
Evan,
need to see it.
Evan, what's going on?
Yeah.
Get that fucking ball in there, Evan. Or that further or something.
Good evening to ENR. Even all, my worry is that the rebuild is bigger than we think. Possibly 4 to 5 windows, plus factoring in Sully. I'm not sure we'll be patient enough with GP. If he goes, could be a bigger mess. Oof.
Yeah.
Could be. I'm going to be straight. I completely agree with that comment. I really do. And someone said to me the other day that they actually said 3 windows. They said, but then we don't really. Do we really do any? Well, we do. We do stuff in January, but very, very rare. Like, the only time we ever do stuff in January is when we're desperate. Do you know what I mean?
Or loans.
Or loans, yeah. Like, we've had some of the best in Jesse Lingard, and then we've had some of the worst in Calvin Phillips.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think Victor Moses was one of the best loan signings we've had in a long time. Him and Lingard together, them two. Both excellent for us when they were here.
You're not talking about John Clare Tadebo, mate, loaned for a season with a view to a permanent. I'll come at you, Budge, on that one. You know what I mean?
Try so we won't rebuild this summer. We'll offer contract extensions and kick the can down the road and just get a few in. Oh, let's hope not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, yeah. City have fucked the rules off and won many trophies. Yeah, obviously they're talking about the PSR and all that stuff because obviously, like Al was just saying about Forest, they got done the season before. Now they're reaping the benefits. So it just proves it can pay off. I mean, the funny part about it, we're still waiting to find out Leicester's not been done yet, have they?
No.
They're supposed to be docked 10 points before the season even started, but that's not happened.
Everton are getting sued by Burnley, don't they? That's what it is now.
This was
because they broke rules or something in the season that they went there.
Yeah, so there's 3. This was because there was 3 clubs. Leicester was one of them.
Yeah.
Burnley, and who's the other mob?
Leicester, Burnley, Sheffield United, was it?
Was it Sheffield United?
Oh, Sheffield United, the ones that got the ump with us.
Yeah. Well, them 3 wanted to not combine. I think this was virtually per club.
Yeah.
I think it was in the region of £400 million they wanted to sue Everton. Because basically they managed to stay up because of their wrongdoings and the other 3 went down. So they were saying, like, hold on, if that's the case, then we need to claw something back in that. Big up to our own disciples. Well, good to see you, oi oi. But yeah, that's what happened. So yeah. Mid-table is realistic next year. You know, big up Budgie, big Tone and Budgie, and obviously don't forget, and he's also big up James as well. A good cut run on the top half finish, same as always. Everything else is just gravy.
Well, I agree with the top half finish. I think West Ham have to be at least 10th.
Yeah, we need to get back to that point now. The question is, do you like your gravy poured over your dinner or on the side? Ooh.
Well, as long as my missus don't throw it at me, I have it either way. We've all been there when you say something and you caught a bit of bisto in the face. You know what I mean?
You've got to learn, mate. You've got to learn. The dinner's always nice.
I've got to
It
learn
always
to
looks
fucking
nice.
duck, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Duck.
I've had enough pisto bashings, mate. Learn to duck.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Don't worry that your meat's curled around like in a fucking into an heart shape. Just say the meat tastes lovely and that, even though you're kind of breaking your knife and fork on it. Don't worry about it. Just say it's good. You've got to learn, mate. You've got to learn. Yeah. Ferguson is oddly saying that. Good evening to Reece Peter. Good to see you in here as well. First time I think it is.
Good evening, bud.
That dressing room atmosphere back then was amazing. We need it back. Budge will know how much I used to rabbit on about it, he's saying.
Yeah. And it's good to see you out and about. Well, on the chat again, Reece. It's been a while since you've been in the chat, mate.
Good to see you. Good to see you. On the side, Togs. Are you mental? James had it on the side, on the face,
everywhere, mate. Trust me.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's asking the question: if you could choose dream owners, who would you go for? Be it owners in the Prem or abroad, or even somebody who doesn't currently own the club. Simon Jordan is available.
Do you know what? I'll tell you who I would love to come in and purchase West Ham United, Iron Maiden.
Cool.
That's who I'd like to see owning this club. Somebody that we know loves the club. They've had shirts made up. They've done songs about us. Mate, they would be brilliant owners. Got money.
Who would I have? Fucking hell, that's a good question. I've always liked. Well, before Leicester lost their owner, I thought Leicester was a very well run club with their owner before that helicopter accident and everything. I like the way Brentford do their business. They're another club that do the money ball system. It works. Yep. I think Bournemouth are coming into that, but I think with the Bournemouth situation for me is if they lose the manager, they ain't the same team. I just think the manager is just too good for that team. He makes them players play like 10 times better. Yeah, you take the manager out there and you put another manager in. I just don't think you would get the same sort of ability with them. I do like Brighton. I like the way Brighton structures itself. I think Paul Barber, I think he's a CEO there, does really good work. I like their conveyor belt of talent. When they and what I like about Brighton is they're not scared to go and buy loads and loads of players at cheap rate and testing them out and seeing what they are. Like when you look at like Matoma, they nabbed him from the Belgium league, I think it was, and
$2.5 million, I think they paid for him.
Yeah, and the thing is, I just feel we just don't do that enough. There's loads of strikers out there, and there's loads of decent players in the Championship, right? And we used to be very, very good at it, going in the Championship and nabbing players. Like look at Bowen, look at Cresswell, look at Antonio, for instance. So like someone like that would be ideal for us. Whoever that is, I couldn't tell you.
For me, and that, I mean, I was hoping it was going to happen. It seems like it might be Spurs bound, but Amanda Staveley.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, she got that deal to get them into Newcastle. She's got a nice payoff for leaving them. So she's got the money, her and her husband. I know she's not well, kind of thing.
But have they got enough to sustain Premier League team the size of West Ham, though, Tone.
Basically, they started off with 6%, where it was 10%, went down to 6%, and when they left on that, they've over £500 million. So they've got the money, and not being funny, with someone like that, she has got the clout to bring in some investors.
Yeah, there is that.
So when you look at that side of things, or you bring, if you brought in one or two main investors that are actually going to invest, not like a Kretinsky. That's kind of, when you look at that, I mean, that's just a tick box exercise for him. And, we've got someone like him, but what does he actually do?
The only problem is with Kretinsky, and I've had this discussion so many fucking times, mate, is that his hands are a bit tied in there. Like, he's coming as an investor, but Sullivan runs the show. Like,
yeah.
Do you want water turned into wine? Fucking tonight, I do. Trojan. After listening to you, Trojan, tonight, you bastard.
I've run out of beers.
Toxic positivity there, Trojan.
Exactly, Budge.
But other wine firms are available. You know what I mean? But no, like I say, I just feel like we just got to get it right next season. We just have, because what it is with this fan base, and St. Jay said, and I do make him right, we can't keep going and sacking managers every 18 months because it ain't working. Like we can't be coming like Watford. The only thing with the Lopetegui, the only thing with the Lopetegui thing is we all knew deep down it wasn't going to work. Yeah, because it was
the wrong move from day one.
It was the wrong move from day one. Yeah. There was people saying, "What the fuck is this going on?" People were asking questions before it even started. Yeah, and that's the problem. They was asking too many questions straight away when you should be enthusiastic about a new manager coming in. We was like skeptical at best, and we was like, "Well, we don't know about this one." And I'll never forget Lucas. Lucas said to me, "I don't trust him, James. I don't think he's going to last long." And I was like, "You've got to back him because he's the guy." Do you know what I'm saying? But as I always say, I don't ever look at any of the managers. I always look at the owner because the owner picks the managers at the end of the day, right? And no one will tell me any different, right? No technical director, no one. Sullivan runs the show. He picks the managers. And the thing that if anything comes out of this season positive, if you want me to be honest, is seeing egg on fucking Sullivan's face when he had to sack him because he knew he had got it majorly wrong.
Yeah.
And him getting it wrong might do us a favour because he might think, well, fuck me, I can't make that mistake again because that's cost me a few quid. That's true, though, isn't it? Like, let's be real.
It's true. That's one thing you can't do. If you hurt him in the pocket and that, what happens here.
Exactly.
Going back on the Guilherme, that the old disciples saying, from what I've heard, the guy can do a lot. He's defensive, he's front-footed, he's fast. He's clocked as being fast and attacking. So that's something we need to see. And Leon's also put. One thing we do know about Guilherme, he's got pace. One thing we lack. Yeah. I mean, obviously with Somerville, losing that element of pace. And this is the problem you got. It goes back to, I said, you think you've got Kudus and Bowen, two similar players.
Yeah.
Then we've got Somerville and we've got Guilherme, two similar players in the same position.
Yeah.
It's good for competition. Don't mean, it's wrong. Like it's good in that respect, but Somerville's injured. Guilherme should be playing.
It just, honestly, Tony, honestly, even if we see Lewis Guilherme for 15 minutes in 3 games, 3 15-minute spells in each game, where he comes on and you see what you can give a fair assessment. What have we really seen of him? A run against Chelsea where he comes on, looks lively, and then we just don't see him again. He's like the fucking invisible man. Like you see him once.
I don't get it, Jay. I mean, I think we had this conversation. Me and Budgie have had this conversation. What has this kid got to do? And why is it we've had 2 managers now that are not really giving him any attention? 3, well, I suppose you can say 3, yeah. That's point, yeah. Why
3 in a year.
Why are we not giving this kid any attention? I mean, I've seen some games he's played in from the club he was at before and that, and he's got some skill about him, and he has got pace. So why are we not utilising that?
I understand it that you got a young lad, new country, new culture, new team, right? New language. I get all of that. I get it all, yeah, because it would affect anyone. Like, if I'm not being funny, if someone said to me, right, you got to up sticks and go to fucking Brazil for like the next 3 or 4 years, it's a big culture shock, isn't it? Really, do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so I can get on that argument, but the kid is not even playing under 23 football. That's this is the thing that really drives me
I
mad.
think
And I'm
he's
thinking,
made 2 appearances,
2 appearances in a season, right, in a year.
18 months we've had him.
I think he even played a game for the under-18s, didn't he, as well? I think he's got a goal in
I
that.
think
But
he did. Yeah. But I mean, look, the thing that frustrates me the most is that, you know, guys like us, we're making assumptions or guessing about the reasons and that. And
Right.
what frustrates me the most is that you would imagine that associates of the club probably watch a lot of the content that goes out because they want to know what's being said. And
100%.
it gets filtered back to the club. Now, you
Yeah.
would think that they would have said to them, just about every fucking stream I watch, they're talking about Guilherme and asking why he's not getting anything, why he's not getting anywhere. You would think that the club might drop a little impromptu statement about it at some point. You know?
Yeah, but their answer to that will be, well, it's the head coach's choice. That's all it'd be. It'd be just like, it's up to the head coach or what he does. That doesn't involve us. It's an easy get out clause, isn't it? Let's be real. Like, the only problem is that when people do say about the season, and I understand it, and we've discussed it tonight, is that I do look at it and think, well, what are we learning? Like, because you have to learn something from this season. You have to. Yeah, you have to take something out of the season. But right, so far, Ollie Scholes, I'm taking a positive out of that because he's come in, he's looked good. Is he first team ready regular next season? I don't know yet. Yeah, I hope he is. But I don't think. I think you're going to have to work with this geezer over the next couple of years to sort of integrate him in there.
Agree on that.
And yeah, and not just go and say, right, yes, chuck him in because he's one of our own and fucking all that shit. Like, we've got to play the game here with him. Yeah, because I thought Emerson done all right against Everton the other day. Yeah, and we needed someone who's a bit more attacking threat. But that's not no disrespect to Scholes. People say, "Oh, why is Scholes dropped?" It's called fucking rotation. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, like, it's not dropped; it's rotation, right? And you are allowed to rotate your side around.
Yeah.
So that's
you
a
know,
positive.
because we had 4 years or whatever it was under David Moyes, none of us are used to that rotation principle. So that's why we're saying it, you know, because we're not used to the rotation principle. We've got to start getting used to it because we have a head coach now that does it, and he does it regularly. And, you know, the club is moving on from the David Moyes.
Can I ask both of you a question? And you have watched West Ham a lot longer than me, right? What is it that you think West Ham fans want? Because I might be getting Gio on on E20 tomorrow afternoon.
Right.
And I'm going to ask him outright, because you know what I'm like, I don't give a fuck, right? I would ask him straight and say, you've got one of the biggest subscribing networks, West Ham. I need to know what West Ham fans want, because some people want this tiki-taka fucking out and out assault. We're going to win every game like Brazil. Some people want to see a structure. Some people want to build the foundations and create a side over a long period of time, like a project. I asked you, what do you want? 'Cause I don't know what West Ham fans want. I really don't.
Well, I'll start if you don't mind, Tone. I think what I would like, let's say over the next 18 months, 2 years, right? I'd like to see Potter establish himself in his job that, you know, where we're not questioning him. You know, I think we're asking far too many questions. And, you know, like someone said in the chat earlier, he's been in the job for a blink of an eye, you know. and we really don't know what he wants, right? But as a fan, what I want is I want to see the manager well established with players around him that he can work with. Whether he chose them or not is irrelevant. What I want it to do is to have players around him that he can work with. And I want to see some sort of development of progression. And by that, I mean slowly catchy monkey. I don't want us in the Champions League next weekend because that's just totally unfeasible. But what I'm saying is over the next 2 years or so, I'd like a progression on development and that development towards heading for the top of the league. That's what I'd like us to be working towards.
Right. So basically, if I've got this right, you're looking at a project.
Yes.
That's what you want. There's a project.
Complete. Yeah.
Right. Go on, Tom.
For me, I just want to see us playing a good level of football. In the fact that there's no one kind of shirking out of their responsibilities. Everyone's putting a shift in. That's the key one for me. Win or lose, draw. As long as the boys are putting a shift in, you're gonna walk away from that game and feel like they gave it all for us. That's what I want to see. And it comes down to, again, they've got to be coached in a certain way. And we know we're going to lose some players. We're going to gain maybe one or two players. They've got to be the right fit.
Right.
Because if you're going to say it's like you've aimed there with Budgie, if it's going to be a kind of project style of way the team's going to be built around, then you've got to make sure that you've got the key, things to go into the holes and the square pegs and all this shit to make sure that it goes in that direction. Because if you get it wrong, like they've done with this season, then you set yourself back not just one season, you set yourself back 2 seasons.
So let me get this straight, because there's a comment in your comment section, which would be good if you could get it up, Tone. Let me have a look. I just see it. It was there. Where's it gone? It's from ENR right at the bottom. All right,
Okay,
which I agree. I agree with what he's trying to say. The thing with me is that if we finish 10th, but we play good football, would people accept that? I don't think they would. Now, I think people have felt the European bug, us going on that journey for many years, and you want more of it. I don't think that is enough for people to be happy. I don't think good football is enough now. And the problem we've got is we've got to be balanced on this. We really have, right? My argument is that when you move from Upton Park, and I say it all the time in this situation, you go to the LS for a purpose. The purpose is to be that top end side competing for Europe consistently, right? Yeah. And I understand when people say it takes time. It takes time. I understand that, but you've got to have a standard, and the standard has to be met. I don't think good football does it anymore. And I don't think someone's sitting there, and if they say to me, well, if we finish 12th and we're playing good football, I'll be happy with that. You're fucking lying. You're lying, because you want to be the best you can be at this club. You really do. And I just don't. I feel currently right now, and no one will admit this. Yeah, no one will fucking admit this. But Moyes set that standard. They won't admit it, but Moyes got us into Europe consistently. We played Europa League semi-final, quarter-final, conference final. He opened the door for us to be the team that we all believe we can be. And that is where the problem lies, because people are going, well, if we play good football and have a cup run, that's fine. I don't think it is.
See, on that, I'm one of those that, as I said to you before, when look at this, looking at Moyes' last season, I still say he was told at the beginning of the season they're not going to renew his contract. I don't care
More
all
than
this
likely.
bullshit.
Yeah.
This bullshit. There's a contract on the table. It was ripped up, this and the other. He was told at the beginning of that season his contract's not going to be renewed because straight away he did the bare minimum, and
Yeah,
the dynamics of the team changed. Because I'll make you right, James, and and he did set a
and
standard.
allowed important players to go as well.
But this is the reason you got to think when you look at it like this. Then, Budge, you've took him 3 seasons to get a cup, which we haven't won in get another silverware in 43 years, and then suddenly you got an owner that is literally kind of saying, "Well, you've done it now."
Yeah, thanks for that, but don't worry about next year because you ain't going to be here.
And exactly it. So it's a case of okay, well, if
Right.
that's the way I'm going to be rewarded, I'll
Yeah.
show you the opposite way. But for me, I still say to this day, he was told there and then in that season he's not going to be renewed, and you saw a difference in Moyes' tactics, his management style, and he just did the bare minimum. He could have done more, but he thought to himself, "What's the point?
Why should I bother? Yeah.
What's the point?
On that
I'll do what I need to.
comment
I'm getting my wage. I'll do my thing, but that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone.
Yeah. No overtime, no added bonuses, no extras, mate. You
Exactly
get the
that.
bare minimum. On that comment you had on just about AWB having more end product than Caduce. Now tell that Trudge, tell that to all the Man United fans that were coating us off for getting him.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Yeah, I just want to say this. So basically, are we saying that next season, if we finish 11th in the league, play some decent-ish football, then what happens? Because
Then
for
we
me,
progress in the following year.
So basically, then, but I don't think this fan base, Budge, will hold on. I really don't. I think where they've had the European bug, yeah, this is the first season that they've had without it. Yeah. Next season, I expect West Ham to finish in the top 10. I really do. I look at the team that we've got currently right now. He goes out and gets his players. He adds it to Bowen. If he keeps Kudus, I expect a minimum of top 10. Like a minimum. With the amount of money that West Ham generate and the players that we've got, I don't think that's unrealistic to try and get 10th in the league. The issue is that I don't think attractive football is enough for these fans anymore. I think they want more than that. I think they want to play attractive football and be competing for Europe and doing this and doing that. And I just don't think they can. I just don't think you can do it at this club. I just and this is the argument.
Think that the fans that are expecting, top half finishes, European football every year and this and that. I think they're the same sort of people that allow their dogs on their leather furniture. Do you know what I mean? Because what I mean by that is that doesn't matter if he's no good, we just get another one. If the sofa gets torn by the dog's claws, we just buy another one. That's not how football works. We had a project under David Moyes, right? Whether we like it or not, we had a project.
Yeah,
and it was fruitful. We got a European trophy out of it. First trophy we've had in 43 years. It was fruitful. It was successful and it worked. Okay. We're now in a new era under a new coach with a new project on the line. And if West Ham fans can't be patient and, reasonable about the project in hand, then all I can say is don't fucking need you, because this club has always done things on the slow. It's never been overnight.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
And if you expect overnight success from this club, you ain't a West Ham fan. Not really, because you don't know fuck all about the club if that's what you're expecting, because it's never been that way. Yeah, okay, things do change, James. I get it, but what I'm saying is that, you know, we've just come out of a very successful period of football, right? For the last 5 years, in general, I would say that was a very successful 5 years for West Ham United, right? In general, we're now in a brand new era with new coaching staff, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
New players, some of the older players, but new players and so on and so forth. And it does take time to mix all of those ingredients together to bake a cake. It really does. You know, you can't. I feel that if you can't be patient and work with the process, what's the point? You know, what is the
I
bloody
agree with
point?
you. I agree with you on the project side of things because I've always said this: West Ham need a project manager, someone that actually goes someone actually goes through with a project, not someone who says it and then fucking nothing happens, but someone goes through with it.
Yeah.
I agree with you that he needs time. I agree with you on that. I think you need time to build the foundations of a side, and we ain't going to know this for at least 18 months. But next season, I do expect a different West Ham. I do. Come August,
I get it.
yeah, and I expect a different West Ham who know what they're doing, a more organised West Ham, a side, in my opinion, that doesn't concede early goals after the first fucking 10 minutes or doesn't concede a goal straight after half time, which we've been doing for the last 5 years. Yeah, with Moyes and with Lopetegui and everything. I look at
In a
it like
heartbeat,
this.
Michael.
Right, I look at it like this. The problem we've got is our success from the past. People want that again, and people are struggling to give this geezer time. That's the problem I'm seeing.
And we as a fan base are the victims of our own success.
To a point, yeah. Like I agree with saying Iron's disciple said previous, right? It's up here somewhere. Let's have a look where it was. And he said, I can't remember what the comment was, but he said something along the lines of like he finds it hard to be patient. Like some people find it hard to be patient when you want to see your team do so well. I completely agree with that because obviously, if someone would have said to you at the start of the season, Nottingham Forest will be competing for Champions League, you'd be fucking laughing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you look at the likes of Villa, the only way Villa have got their success, and I don't class it as success and say win something, right? I really don't. Like them qualifying for Champions League, is that a success? Yeah, it's a success, but it's not. It's not like when you win something, that's a memory forever. Do you know what I'm saying? No one. If you was to go and ask a Blackburn Rovers fan when they used to qualify when they won the Premier League, how was their Champions League form? No fucker would remember it. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
But if you go and ask a Wigan fan who won the FA Cup about 10, 15 years ago, they remember that clear as day. They remember where they were, they're Wigan fans, and they're in League One. So I just feel that where we was successful under Moyes, whether people like it or not, and they won't accept it, but Moyes is probably one of the best managers that we've had in the Premier League era. Yeah, for consistency. Yeah. Now they want it now. And it's the old, I don't like to say it, but it's the old entitlement. I expect West Ham to be competing for Europe. Even I'm saying it. Like I expect West Ham to finish at least top 10. Because we should. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not at Upton Park no more. And this
we've got to realise that.
Yeah, we'll play attractive football and we have a good cup run, that's it. Well, if that's the case, what the fuck do we move? Do you know what I'm saying? Why did we move from the home, which is on your screen there, Tone, to go to a place where we could have stayed in our home and done that in there anyway? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where the difference is, in my opinion.
No,
really
true.
is.
I mean, obviously, GP saying either build the team around Kudus or sell him. I mean, obviously, we said the comment from Michael saying, "Would you sell Alvarez?" I mean, Budgie said, "Yeah, sell him in a heartbeat." You know, he's done okay, but. Yeah.
He's been brilliant.
Buds would drop him off.
I actually really like him. I really like him. I think he's a great midfielder. I think he's been exceptional for us at times. I think he's been great. But like James said earlier on, he's a walking yellow card, and unfortunately, in the current climate of the game, we can't afford that. We can't afford to have one of our most important players out on suspension because they've been a bit rough with a player the week before. So, yeah, I would sell him in a heartbeat. I would. But I would want somebody very special to replace him.
You also build a spine as well, Trosh. I understand you build a team from the back, but you also build a spine. You need that. That's a key element of a team.
At the moment, his spine is Bowen, Souček, and Kilman. Really, isn't it?
I would chuck to I'll chuck to Debo in there because I think once he's fully fit, which I'm glad he is now.
Mate, listen, to Debo, I think he's the best defender we've got at the club right now.
Oh yeah. But I think Kilman doesn't really get the applaudits for this season. I think he's been fucking excellent this season. And let's have it right. When we spoke about him last summer, and I see everyone going around saying 40 million. I was one of them. I said, "Fuck, this is a lot of dough for this geezer." I think
he's earned that price tag now, hasn't he?
Yeah. I would probably say, you know what, he's worth it now. But at the time, I was thinking this could go horribly wrong. But this is the how can I put it? This is the sort of mindset that we've got in many West Ham fans at the minute, because we are fearful that it could go wrong with a player. Because when we spend big, we don't know whether it's going to go right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them.
In fairness, when we've spent big before, we've spent big on players like Sebastian Haller, etc. And for whatever reasons, they haven't produced the goods, or they haven't been
team formation again,
they could have been, or in the
team
right
formation
position.
for me. It wasn't managed properly by Moyes.
Yeah, when you look
and
at Benrahma, for example. Now, James, I remember you were probably the biggest voice for him at one point.
Power to the people.
Yes, and you and I actually kind of clashed verbally over
99 Red Balloons, GP.
But looking back at it, looking back at his time at West Ham, I don't think he was handled correctly. I don't think he was played in the right position most of the time. And yet, when you look back at his time at West Ham, the man scored some amazing goals, beautiful free kicks and penalties, and open play. But he scored some fantastic goals. He got some great assists. And he used to worry defences. And that would allow our other players in to take up the slack, as it were. And I think, I want to apologise to you now for actually having said to you, I think you're overrating Benrahma's abilities and that. I apologise for that. I look back at it now and I think to myself,
it's took you fucking long enough. It's been gone to you.
I've got a bit of humility going on here, son.
Big up to old man as well. Big up to the old man.
Good old man. Good evening, mate. Joking aside though, James, you were right about him. You were bang on right about him that he was a far better player than we were seeing because of the way he was being used. I think
with Benny, like he was like fucking Marmite, the geezer. You either liked him or you didn't. For me, I backed him because I thought there was a talent there. And listen, that goal alone in Prague will set him for history. Yeah, the goal he scored, the penalty he scored, which was a big penalty. And there's people out there who go, "Oh, he was fucking shit for us."
And there weren't a goalkeeper on the planet saving that on that day either.
And at the end of the day, right, they can say he was shit for the rest of their lives. Right, in June 2023, 7th of June, at 10 o'clock at night, 2-1 West Ham, Benrahma and Bowen, and that's what it was. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
And if people want to call Benrahma a legend for that goal at the end, they got to do the same for Benrahma, haven't they? Sorry, if they want to call Bowen a legend, they got to do the same for Benrahma. You know,
Bowen's a god. He's a god.
Goal.
Give him the keys to Stratford, lads.
Yeah. But
He's
I
got-
mean, like, you know, earlier on, I kind of said something
Good
about,
night, GP.
you know, David Moyes in his last year selling important players and that. I'm still, and I probably will be for the next fucking 5 stretch, I am still bitter about us selling Pablo Fornals. Wrong time to sell him for me.
Yeah,
We could have done with the Pablo Fornals this year.
we could have done with fucking anyone at the minute.
Right, come on, let's
Anyone-
get on to the Green Street Elite Tone, because it's 10:30.
Bloody
2.5
hell, man.
hours in.
Right.
Jesus.
Well, I've got to make a move. But you carry on. But a pleasure to come on. Very enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Nice
Subscribe
to see
to
you again,
Tone's,
James.
subscribe to Tone's channel. You know what I mean? Subscribe to Budgie's channel. And hit the like
Subscribe to
button
this
here.
man's channel
20
and
as
this
well.
man's channel as well.
Don't
Yeah,
subscribe to
listen,
me. I mean, I'm the worst YouTube channel on the planet. I've been told many a time, but here you go.
Trust can vouch for that. Trust
Can rebrand it to Mr. Angry's Moment.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Angry Confessions of a West Ham fan, part 1.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my move. Much
All
love.
right, mate.
Oh,
Take
Jake,
care.
before you go, look, Jake, I decided. Well, I think it's you and your gravy dinner. And he says here, in Thanksgiving, my missus in the States told me it's in 5 minutes. I was like, 1 sec. She said it was ready again. I said 1 sec. She threw the whole thing out the window. I saw a turkey flying.
Fucking hell, mate. Don't get a bird, lads. That's all I say. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Other Bisto gravies are available. Anyway, take it easy.
Hey, take it easy,
Peace.
mate.
Nice one,
Take
mate.
it easy.
Very good. And then there were 2.
Absolutely, mate. Howard saying, evening, Anthony. I thought I saw Chihuahua tied to a girl's bike in the car park. That's brilliant. So yes, we're a bit like slow on the chat, but we are going to give you this, and let's see people in the chat if you remember this man. I do. I never forget the size of the fella, but we're just going to play this one for you for our Green Street Elites for the night. Mike Small.
The not so deliberate mistaking amongst all of that.
No, go on, mate. I missed it.
The little clip of video, Mike Small scores the winner at Highbury. That was footage of him scoring against Nottingham Forest.
Because, yeah, that's the point. Yeah, because Mike Small goal against Arsenal, he drilled it.
He did. It was from the left-hand corner of the box. I've just realised I had 2 clips and I've put the wrong one on the video.
Fair
Hands
play.
up, I'm the fucking idiot.
Do you hear we said about what owners coming in? I like the comment in this one here. Chesney Hawks must have a few, Bob, from Howard. Our usual saying, Elon Musk make West Ham great again. Yeah, imagine that one. There's a few wrestling Triple H, but the loser game was less. They're cool. Reese saying, I think West Ham Clips should buy the club.
Oh.
I said it was like 5 million signing, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Silly money for Brighton. Howard still must have a few bob living in Chelsea. But
He
Mike
says he
Small,
live in Chelsea.
what do you recall of Mike Small yourself, Budgie?
Well, actually, like I said to you earlier, Tone, I didn't really remember a lot about him until I started putting the video together. And I suppose you could call it a bit of research. It was more memory jogging, to be honest. And I remember that there was a group of us that we used to call him the Ox because he was so fucking big. And now, thinking about it, if you put all of that together, it actually makes a joke, doesn't it? Mike Ox Small.
Yeah, it's true.
But we used to call him the Ox because he was just so damn big. Like I said, he was only about 6'1", maybe 6'1.5", but it was just his build. I mean, he was like Michael Antonio on steroids. His build was huge.
Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely
Got
was.
it out the sun every time he went up for an header.
I mean, I remember the bloke, like I said to you, I mean, just got this question for you. Tony and James, you bought Budgie's cookbook. It's called Cooking with Budgie. Yeah, I've got the 2 editions of it.
Both signed.
But yeah, I remember Mike Small, bloody hell, man. 6'1", you wouldn't think he was 6'1". He was just, I say, you hear people being big boned, and he definitely was that.
Oh, God, yeah. Jesus, he had thighs like a fucking hippo. It was huge.
Sorry, people in the chat. We always in through the comments. I know we're not had a chance to read most of them, but we are trying to, catch up with them there. But yeah, Mike Small. I mean, I say when he came to the indoor training at Chad Relief, and he came into that door frame, well, he filled the door frame. It's like, man. And you see him against let's see who's around at the top. Where you had Clive Allen there. And he was a fair old size anyway, but nothing compared to him.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't dismiss the fact that the man walks into the club, scores 18 goals in his first season in all competitions. That's no mean feat.
Tiziano Rossi. Sorry,
hi. Yeah, that's no mean feat, walking into a club and scoring 18 goals in a season. It's a pretty decent return. And, he got into a bit of trouble. I think he got a red card in the first game of the season.
I think this is when we got relegated.
Yeah. And he got a red card in the first game, and he was obviously on a ban for a couple of games, and then wasn't selected so much. And we had other players coming up and coming into the club at the time, and he saw his chances diminishing day by day by day, and eventually off he went. What West Ham fans want is simple: some decent football, a good cup run, possibly a cup now and again, and have a go at teams, giving them a damn good game. Nothing more. Anything else is a bonus.
Totally agree on that.
Yeah. And I think that was the comment that James was
alluding to, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think at the time that Mike Small was, kind of ousted, if you like, I don't think it was anything personal at all. I think it was just because we had the likes of McAvenny and Cotty there, and that is a tough ask. Getting a play in front of them two.
Well,
tough ask.
Even when Clive Allen came in, I mean, when you look at a situation like, he was at the later stages of his career, but he was a goal machine still, even at that age. He still knew where the back of the net was, and unfortunately, I think with the sending off, that did send Small back in the pecking order.
Yeah,
and his days were numbered. And like I said, for the short time he was there, to get them that many goals,
hmm
It's,
Oh, he
it's
certainly made an impact while he was with us.
Mm,
You know, and that's what you want from a signing, isn't it? While they're with you, you want them to make an impact. You know, whether they be a loan signing or a permanent signing, you know, you want them to make an impact. And he certainly did that. He
the
certainly
funny
did that.
thing when you kind of saw him, heard him, talk to him, unfortunately, uh, he didn't seem to be the brightest tool in the chest.
No, no. There's a question from Michael Chelsea FC saying, what height was Mike Small? Very tall fella, that's for sure. According to everything that I've looked up on, he was only 6'1".
Yeah, 6'1".
But
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose to many of us, we would have only have seen him either on the pitch or on TV, and he might have looked a lot bigger than
true.
6'1" on
Yeah,
TV.
as I say, he did look bigger than that. Leon, if you want it, you can borrow my old bins if that can help you out. Do your spelling.
I've been really good. I haven't used mine at all tonight.
But you're right, you say, mate. I mean, like, when he's big bone, but when you looked at his legs, they were literally like fucking tree trunks.
Oh, they were. They
It
were.
was
And he had a turn of speed about him and all, though.
Yeah, which was quite surprising, really, because he had at certain times he had a turn like a battleship. It took that long to fucking go round. But yeah, at the end
Yeah.
of the day, I mean, I remember
I
say
mean,
being at Highbury with that goal.
yeah, I mean, well, he started that off in his own half anyway, Mike
Yes, yeah,
Small.
yeah.
He took the ball, I think, about 10 yards outside of our box, moved forward with it, found space, moved forward more, put the ball across to McAvenny, I think it was. No, not McAvenny. Can't remember who it was now. But he put the ball across to somebody. They fed the ball through the channel in front of him,
Agree on that, Ian.
and then he smashed it into the back of the net.
And the thing was, that was a game where Arsenal were literally, knocking at the door when we was at Highbury. There was knocking on the door, and it was near I think it was the last 5 minutes or so that he just got the ball in there and ran forward, and then just pulled back the trigger. And yeah, there's no way he was saving that.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because he had a little kind of brief managerial career. Haringey Borough
Non-league.
and Kingsbury Town.
Yeah, both non-league.
Yeah, I mean, Kingsbury Town was a well-run club. Haringey Borough. I mean, it's interesting. It does mention, where is it now? He joined the management team at Waltham Forest in the late 2007. Only
Yeah,
to
he had an
depart.
argument with the owner, didn't he?
Well, yeah. Now, Waltham Forest, if I remember rightly, before they were called Waltham Forest, were Leighton Pennant.
All right.
Yeah. And the reason why they had to change their name is the bloke that bought Leighton FC, he was a multi-millionaire, and literally all the silverware that they had was at Leighton Pennant. So basically, he took them to court and he won the case. So they had to change their name. But if that's the same chairman, I'm not surprised he had a disagreement with that, and I'll tell you off air the reason why.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Got that.
Yeah, Michael Blee saying, look, we have two different fan bases, the old school and the ones who have only known life under Moyes. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Absolutely,
And
Michael.
Ian saying, I can understand the impatience to an extent because we've wasted so many opportunities to push on as a club. The last one being after Prague, we should have now been in a much better position. Comes down to, yeah, it is the owners. Yeah. Totally agree, Budgie. I was saying there, and look at history. Fortune's always hiding. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
And just one more thing on Mike Small.
mm.
He had 16 transfers in his career.
Yes, you can see where we've been.
All right, some of them were only loan transfers, but he's had 16 transfers. And he even played in Holland, Belgium, Looks like the United States.
Yeah, because what we got there?
Go ahead, Eagles. Who the freaking hell are they? Let's have a look. Oh, they're Dutch.
They're Dutch as well. Yeah, Dutch.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's unbelievable. Oh, you must have spent quite a lot of time in Holland then.
Oh, that's a great. Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm just seeing a comment from Ian as well. He's put some great comments in tonight. Ian saying, "I'll never forgive Sally for advertising Rice the day after the final. We're only going one way at that point." Yep, the trend was set. Yeah, exactly. James, who believed Leicester would have been won the league in 2016. I think won for the title. Yeah, very true. The music comments coming through thick and thin, thick and fast, shall I say? Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. I mean, look, you got to think back in the day, we signed him for £400,000. And the interesting thing was, he started off his professional career with Luton, and his debut was against Luton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because obviously it says here, 1993, he received a red card, but it was competition from Trevor Morley and the recent arrival.
Oh, yeah. Morley and Allen, not bloody McAvenny. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Trevor Morley and Clive Allen. And of course, he was down the pecking order.
Played his last game against Notts County for us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting there. Getting down to the end of the comments.
Right, so any ideas in the chat who you'd like us to chat about next week on Green Street Elites? Oh, Littler's just had a 9-darter. Nice.
He's doing all right, he is.
Yeah, he's good.
Albeit, gents, it'll take time to get rid of the foreign stars. Developed from within the Hull Academy. It is the foreigners that have stopped their grown talent coming through. Yeah, true.
Nice to see Simon's in the chat as well. Wolfie.
Yeah, we're getting there. Trogic saying, saw a stat which was interesting. Kilman is lowest in the league for being dribbled past. Yeah, he's quite good at accepting things. So give Kilman that. Diamond Dogs, yeah. I might have to scroll down a bit. Might be unpopular opinion, Damon said. I wouldn't be against giving Kilman the arm back next season. Well, I think that's the reason why Lopetegui signed him in the first place.
I think you're right. But, I mean, the thing is, Jared Bowen is the current captain. I can't see anybody taking the captaincy away from him. The only way Kilman's getting the captaincy is as a deputy captain or, vice captain. Or if Liverpool come up with 100 million in the summer for Bowen.
Cool. Imagine that. Old man saying, remember one thing for years, we've had no striker apart from Antonio, and that's down to Moyes. True.
Yeah.
Sorry, people in the chat. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. That was just great time. Bollocks to West Ham. Budgie still thinks Connie has a future, apparently.
I don't. Not at West Ham. Not at West Ham.
The younger crowd on Twitter used to slate Benny. I think it wasn't bad as that lot made out, but was limited. Yeah, true. GSC Budge. Damien saying, Sally Benny or Fornals would have looked as bad if Steiden didn't flop the Ibrahim. Oh, that one. Yeah, exactly. The Ibrahim Oshman signing.
Yeah.
Big up. Tone Budgie and James on disciple saying there. He's really not, mate, you moany old tart. But he slowed down how fast counteracting. He did indeed, Trosh. Yeah, as annoying as anything. Absolutely annoying that was.
Yeah, it was.
Tony, James, Budgie, another great chat. Thanks, Leon.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Leon.
it. Decision making like kudos. Yeah, usual. Breathe easy, James. Big up, boys. Yeah, agree on that. Moyes knew that. Yeah, let's do this. They're saying Mike wasn't small, loved him. Yeah, big old bloke.
Yeah.
Mike Small scored when I went Highbury to win. I was there as well, George. Yeah, remember that goal completely. Yeah, remember that. That's the one at Highbury. Oof, yeah, it was definitely. Brethren up. You know who my man is. Yeah, Michael played. It was a small unit. Jesus, yeah, that's small. Bloody hell, man.
Mate, he was more like an industrial unit.
Feed the ox and he was scored. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it weren't just me and my group of mates that used to call him the ox then.
let's see.
I thought it was just us lot, you know. But other people.
Yeah, he is. So we signed Mike from my local side, Brighton. I've seen him down here a few times, and he scored 20 odd goals one season for them. Was delighted when he signed him. Yeah, for that price as well.
But Ian, you're a Brighton man, are you? Not very far away from me then, bud.
No, there's another close person there.
23 miles up the A23 I am.
Have you seen this person, Budge?
No, I haven't. No.
Between your legs, old man, to Brendan saying. Oh, brilliant there. Old man. And big up to Wolfie. Yeah, smash those likes up. Remember for 2 months. Appreciate that, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Yes, we are indeed. And I hope the same for you as well, matey. And if you haven't any cards, make sure you go over to Wolfgang Division. Simon, good guy in that. Chelsea fan, but he's a very good guy. Make sure you go and give me a little love as well if you can, please.
And I do like the Blues Brothers show he does with his mate in America.
JPT,
What's his name? JBB?
Yeah, JPT, yeah.
JPT, that's it.
Or as Anthony calls him, TCP.
They got a good little dynamic between them.
They have indeed, mate.
Yeah.
He was like Mark Robson, who scored tons, and then we got relegated and they vanished. Yes, true. They did true. Good evening, Sean. How are we doing? Fresh? Good to see you.
Good evening, Sean.
And I was saying hello to everyone.
He's turned up late, isn't he? Nearly 3 hours into the show, mate.
He's not bad, is he? He's not bad. Troy's also saying small Mark Robson both scored and did well in the older championship, but not in the top division.
Mm-hmm.
I still live there. Yeah, he still does indeed. Big up suspect there. Another one is also late as well. Good evening to Terence. So we keep him well. Sorry for my late entrance. Been on the Raz. Got to say, does it pee you off all the God knows what we've been linked with? Yeah, we always have that kind of listed to the world and his wife, and we're going to sign up. Damien, if you've already gone, sorry, missed you, but thanks for being in the chat. Some great comments
for joining, Damien.
I wish you all good night. Thanks, peeps. You're most welcome. Oh, yeah, see, there. Basically, just a 9 data.
Yeah, that's mental, isn't it?
Are you fluent McLaren Dutch speaker? Yeah. Yeah, what a player he was as well in that. And
oh yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Still can't forget the cameras zooming in on his face.
I was fucking traumatized by that.
Yeah, wrong on all levels. That was.
Yeah,
that's his family watching that and all.
Yeah.
Simeone
Zaza.
Yeah. Anton Utulakowski. Wow.
Right. Okay.
Steve Walford. Mike Bukowski. They've got some names coming up here.
Mike Bukowski. That's that thing from bloody Monsters Inc.
Well, yeah. Mike Bukowski.
Yeah.
Francois van der Elst. Yeah.
Van der Elst. Yeah, he was good.
Stu Pearson. Yeah. Alvin Martin. Mark Robson. Topher Luddy. Yeah. Man. Terence is saying, Budgie, you got to say, Liverpool could offer God knows how many millions. He ain't leaving us. Mr. Dyer would castrate him. He's an amateur till he dies.
Terence, you're probably bloody right, mate. But, you know, I was just throwing it out there, you know.
George
Paris, we've done.
Yeah, George Paris. Yeah, done him. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Where's the predictions for this weekend, Tom? You should have been on the show yesterday, Michael. We were telling out who the top 10 were. Stuart Slater.
Love him. Love him to bits.
Reese is saying 3 hours into the show, is this turning into the West Ham random show?
Mate, listen, I'd be doing random shows if I could get into the studio.
Good day and goodbye, Kieran. Great
Kieran.
to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, fella.
I hope all well, Cobber. Anyone bothered watching England tomorrow? Nah.
I am, only because I put a bet on it, but
Have you? Good. Everyone's saying it. And again, we said it earlier on in the chat, the comments have said it in there as well. What a community we have. I mean, Dale said the same thing. We have a really good community in the YouTube fraternity. Yeah. We do indeed.
I mean, my brother's staunch Chelsea, so on and so forth. And, he came onto the show last week, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm.
He said to me, I love the community that there is on YouTube with you guys. Yeah. He said, everybody seems to get along. He said, I noticed there were many different teams being represented in the chat. He said, and everybody got along with everybody. I said to him, mate, it's like having your pub mates on the screen every night,
It's
Don't
right,
matter who you support. We're just chatting football because that's what we all love. Yeah, my brother's well impressed with the community,
That's good. We've done Stuart Slater, haven't we? Unfortunately.
Did we?
I think we did. We'll have to go back and have a look again.
I'll tell you what, you just hang on there. I'll have a look in the back catalogue.
No worries, Budge. Maybe we can. He's saying, Kieran, my man. Old man saying, who was the Brazilian striker we had on loan? Scored 1 goal against Everton, I think. Trying to think myself now. Gentlemen, hit the likes because the panel includes you and knows your reason it's here. Big up, panel. Big up to you as well, Terence, as always.
Yeah, I'll give you a list of the ones that we've done. But Devonshire.
Yeah.
Jeff Pike, Julian Dix, Michael Hughes, John Hartson. Oh, no, we haven't done John Hartson yet. I've done the video for it, though. Marlon Harewood.
Phil. Yeah. Big up, Phil. Thanks for being with us. Top show. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us.
Thanks, mate. Ludo, Matty Etherington, Morley and Bishop, we did together. Mike Small and Ronnie Boyce. They're the only ones we've done.
So there you go. So it seems Stuart Slater will be the next one.
Stuart Slater, brilliant. I've met him a few times. So, yeah, mate.
Reese saying, Budge, I think I've still got the details for random. There you go.
Oh, cool. Have you got access to the email, though, Reese? That's the thing.
Better 7 year goes down where he thinks is there. Colin saying, good night, Tony and Budgie. Great show. Interesting listening. Always great joining you, wonderful joys. See you both next time. God bless you both. Colin, same to you. And
Colin, thank you. And give our regards to Barbara.
Yeah, indeed. And make sure and enjoy the time together, which is always great. And they're all saying good night to each other. And, brilliant. Love this. Love how we are. I'll just see the comment as Kira's going. I could always ask Frank, all he's saying. There you go. Howard, I presume you were creating last night. I think he was in. I was saying, came in a bit late, but terrific chat as always, guys. Just a ticket in one of these awful international breaks. You're most welcome in, and you guys, as always, help make it what it is. Phil, what a player. Freddie Canute.
Oh, I love him. Love him. Love him.
Yeah.
But I hated him as soon as I saw him in white.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
So we're going to do Stuart Slater next week.
Stuart Slater.
And then the week after, I think we should just have a little bit of self-gratification and do the World Cup trio.
That'd be a nice one. Yeah. Nice.
Should we do that the week after next?
We'll do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
That sounds good, mate. That sounds good.
It's about time they got a shout on this show.
Absolutely, mate. Mike was saying, Budgie, do one from the 60s week, then one from the 70s, the 80s, until you hit current day, then start again. That's not a bad shout.
That is a good shout.
Thank you, Michael. We will definitely go with that. Yes, buddy, I was in the flow working on a beauty-winged naked woman. I never forget when I used to be in the upholstery game. and this is one for the chat as well. I used to call on a designer down in Plymouth, and he was quite eccentric because he also did his own art, oil paintings and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And his studio was upstairs in his house. And going up there, I'm seeing all these pictures, and as you get to the top of the stairs, there was this young girl naked, and he had drawn her and all this kind of stuff. Opened the door and went into his studio. There she was. She actually worked for him, and he's got a drawing of. And I thought to myself, I've just seen you outside. I was going to say, I've just seen you.
Oh, good God, love! I didn't recognise you with your clothes on.
It's like, what the fuck,
But actually, I had a very not similar, but I had an experience once where a friend of mine, he got friendly with this other guy where he was living, and invited me over to come and have a couple of drinks and chat with this guy. So he goes to this house, beautiful house out by East Grinstead, just the other side of East Grinstead.
Yeah.
A place called Ashurst Wood. Beautiful house. And I went, I like this house. This is beautiful. I said, and I like that bit there that goes between the house and the extension. It had a bit of the building across the driveway. So it was like a bridge sort of thing. And he said, oh, yeah, that's the old studio. He goes, I don't really use it anymore. The studio? He said, yeah. He said, that used to be a music studio. He goes, but I don't do music. So, I don't use it. And that kind of got my ears pricked up. And I went, oh, right, okay. So, what do you do? And he said, I'm a photographer. He said, I've got a studio up there. He said, but I don't use the music studio. Well, okay, so he invited us to come up to his studio, and on the wall were all these pictures. Now, there was pictures of people that you will see pictures of everywhere, but you'll never see these pictures. And he made us keep our phones in our pockets so that we didn't take photographs of the pictures that he took. There was Twiggy, the Rolling Stones, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Elton John. There was hundreds of musicians, sportsmen, politicians and all that. They were just pictures of them all around this studio that he'd taken. And there was this one particular one of Bob Marley. I offered him 500 quid for one photograph, an A3 photograph, right? I offered him 500 quid for it there and then. And he said, no, you haven't got enough money to get this photo off me. And it was a photograph of Bob Marley talking to a young English, I presume, English or American kid, a young little white kid, talking to him, teaching him to play guitar.
Wow.
He was actually teaching the kid chords on the guitar, and this guy snapped the picture. Unbelievable.
Nice.
You'll never see that photograph unless he ever releases it. But, anyway, so the music studio, turns out it was where they wrote and recorded The Wall, Pink Floyd.
It's true for mine.
The house used to be owned by Nick Mason, is it?
Go in, now you're asking me.
Nick Mason, I think he's the drummer for Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I say
anyway, he's the one that's got all the Ferraris and that. Yeah, it used to be owned by him. This house. And then this photographer guy took it over. But he showed me the music studio. It's all still there.
Wow.
All 1980s equipment.
Brilliant.
Right.
Colin, say good night to everyone.
Good night, Colin.
Pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
3 hours in and I'm chatting about bloody.
Terry to say, my God, Budgie, you ain't done Artson, and I bigged you up earlier. He's going.
No, I've done a video for Hearts. In fact, we should maybe have a look at the ones I've done the videos for. From when we first started talking about it, I did about 8 videos in a row.
That's right. You saying Liam Brady really rated him? Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he was great.
Kieran saying I've had some chicken wings. Oh, that's very nice.
Oh, nice.
Important stuff. Michael Chelsea saying, brilliant show, guys. Sorry I wasn't in the chat last night, given Chelsea women's were in action. No worries, Michael. And as usual, saying, how did they get on with a little kind of and Elson Trudge is saying about obviously me going to that designer's house. As long as you open with nice nips. Yes, I tried not to. It's pretty hard not to. Blame the pitch market was too good, you're saying, yeah. Howard saying, I have naked sculptures all over the house, wooden sex toys piled up in ballwood boxes in my lounge. My daughter won't bring a friend over to stay. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, is Portland stone the Houses of Parliament stone? Could possibly. Yes. Howard saying it. Old man, yes, he's Howard saying.
Oh, Howard would know. He's a stone
second leg there, mate, yeah. That's from Mansfield. I live in the quarry. Old man saying. Used to rebuild after the Great Fire. Collect mine from the quarry. Nice. Usually saying, when I was in the nick, I woke up to find my cellmate noshing me off. I went mad and told him, you've got 20 minutes to stop that. Still can land it on next week. Yeah, right off to bed there. Got 11 now. Bloody hell, yeah. We're going to be wrapping it up now. Just catch up with the chat, and we are literally going to be done. Thanks for being with us, Michael, please, as well. Only if you push back. Was it in a brand envelope? Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony saying, Budgie and Tony, can you do a video on Marco Boogers? I think that'd be one.
No.
That'd be one of the special ones.
We're doing Green Street Elite. Not, well, no, not Marco Boogers. No.
You can start off. You can start off with.
We'll do it at some point, but not yet.
Well, yeah, but when you do the video for him and that, you want to do a caravan coming on first of all, and that, and then go into the video just to remind us where he is.
See if I can find one of it on fire, like driving off or something.
So with Bob Marley done one of those videos for a song, a young Naomi Campbell appears in the video. Yes, that's true.
Correct.
Yeah.
One Love. No. Oh God, what one is it? Is This Love? Is This Love? I think it is. Yeah, go on.
So no, people in the chat, thanks for hanging around with us. And there's still 23 people with us now. Absolutely superb. 3 hours and just turned 7 minutes. We've had a great chat with you people. So we had to rush through so many, and that obviously trying to talk it out and keep up with you guys is not always easy. But thank you for hanging around with us now. Boogers Caravan Holiday Let's. Yes, that's the next thing he's going to be doing. He's got his own caravan park. We will. What's his Reece saying, Budge? I'll drop you a WhatsApp in a minute. Then.
Good boy. Good boy.
There you go. Is love. Brendan saying thanks, Tom. Budgie chatters all night to yourself as well. Kieran, appreciate you. Have a good day yourself.
Appreciate it, Kieran.
Latest Tony and Budgie saying there as well.
Oh, Kieran, keep your diary free for Tuesday night. And you, Tone.
No worries, mate. Michael's saying Mavropanos, the great given Tont is a huge fan of him. Yeah, absolutely. Howard saying much love, chat. Thanks, gentlemen. Howard, appreciate you coming in as well, and always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And keep chipping away, Howard. Keep chipping away, mate.
Absolutely. And yes, you'll find us back on Sunday with the Sunday Night Takeaway show. And then, of course, Wednesday, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And then, of course, the return of me and Budgie on Thursday. Tuesday sounds like something's up Budgie's sleeve, so we'll see what that is.
Yeah.
And the last kind of comments that is, oh man, night, guys. Night to yourself as well. Glad you're alive, Kieran. Absolutely. And usual. Great evening, gentlemen. No, absolutely a pleasure with you being in there. And last but not least,
just a little impromptu thing in mind for Tuesday night. I say impromptu. I mean, I'm thinking about it now, but I mean, just a little something. I mean, I've been doing the squad rotation thing. It's still along those lines. So but hopefully I've got 2 other people lined up as well for
Brilliant.
it. So.
No problems at all. But people in the chat, thanks for hanging around with us. My esteemed host with me, Budgie, Thanks for being with us.
Mate.
This has been a very, it's been a long one, but it's been a very interesting one. We've covered a lot of topics in that, and a big shout out for James E20 coming on as well.
Massive
And
shout out to James.
give him there. But as always, the last thing we do before we say goodnight and that, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.